Today's KSVIPs, Eunice and Kim. We're getting ready to party all weekend because it's Halloween and birthdays for Eunice and Kim. Eunice is Lana's mom. Kim is a teacher in the Roswell schools and married to Mike Winters. Eunice and Kim will each receive a flower from Lovebud Floral. Happy birthday to our Pecos Valley Broadcasting Halloween birthdays on Sunday, October 31st. Eunice and Kim.
Just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters. But so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really, really white and nerdy.
My class there at MIT. Got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your 40 out.
Well, hey there. Good morning and welcome once again to the Good Morning Artesia radio show. We are getting ready for Thursday, and it is the 28th day of October, so we're just getting that much closer to the Halloween holiday, and I know at least one person who's really gearing up for a big-time party, and that's kind of cool. I actually got invited to a Halloween party this year. That's the first time ever. So, but I respectfully declined. I don't know. I know the person that's having the party. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people that are going to be at the party, but I'm still just a little nervous around a gathering of a lot of folks. Call me crazy with the COVID, but anyway, it'll be kind of interesting. I was looking at an article in the Roswell Daily Record this morning. Health officials had a press conference, virtual press conference this week, and a couple of interesting nuggets in the story that was written by Juno Ogle of the Roswell Daily Record. Basically, what came out of the press conference yesterday was that New Mexico is at a, quote, uncomfortably high plateau, unquote, in the trend of new COVID-19 cases. But state officials cannot pinpoint any one reason why the spread of the virus remains high despite the state's high vaccination rate. And according to Christine Ross, who is the state epidemiologist, she said Wednesday the United States is seeing a downward curve of new COVID-19 cases, but that is not the case in New Mexico. The state does have far fewer cases now than it did during the surge last winter, however. Quote, clearly, we flattened the curve, but it is not trending down as we would like to see it. We are sitting on this very uncomfortable plateau, which is highly impacting our healthcare delivery system. And the doctor said the plateau is especially evident in the metro region of the state, which, due to its population, drives the statewide trends. The Northwest region is particularly worrisome. Quote, unlike the metro, which is sitting at this high-level plateau, we actually see an increasing 7-day moving average for the Northwest region, which is very, very concerning. Now, a couple of observations on that. Florida, for example, which has been ridiculed and ripped and is horrible because of their stinking, filthy, ugly, horrible, mean Republican governor who hates people and wants them to die governor. Florida's actually leading the country when it comes to this downward trend on the new COVID cases. What's DeSantis been doing? And there's a number of things that he's been doing. He had a press conference yesterday or the other day, and he talked about monoclonal antibodies, the drugs that people who early in their diagnosis of having COVID the state of Florida has been one of the states most active in getting that stuff out to people and making sure that people who get a positive test result very early in their infection are given these monoclonal antibodies. And he said in the press conference, the evidence shows that has saved hundreds of thousands of Floridians from hospitalization and severe illness in many, many cases. And he even mentioned the fact that the feds, the federal government, led by the whoever, what's his name is, has been tinkering with the supplies of these monoclonal antibodies and has made it difficult in some cases for the state of Florida to get a hold of this stuff to give to their citizens. Now, contrast that with what we're doing in New Mexico. The governor of Florida has gone to court. He's gone to bat. He has been on the forefront of saying, we are not going to mandate masks, and we're not going to let anybody mandate masks. I think Florida's been on the forefront of saying we're not going to mandate vaccines. We're going to help people get vaccines. If people want to get the vaccine, we're going to have vaccine clinics. We're going to encourage people to get the vaccine, but we're not going to mandate that you have to get the vaccine, and we're not going to allow private business and government entities to mandate vaccines. What are we doing in New Mexico? You can't work in healthcare unless you've been vaccinated. You can't work in state government unless you've been vaccinated. Your child can't walk around the school building without wearing a mask. And so you contrast the two states. What those two things have to do with each other, that's for people to study and epidemiologists like our state epidemiologist to look at. But when I think we've been through enough of the time frame that you hope that people like our state epidemiologist will actually have the guts to pull up the Texas data and pull up the Florida data and look at what Florida has done and look at what Texas has done and compare that to what New Mexico has done and say, maybe we might want to consider doing some of the things in our state that were done in states like Texas and Florida. They don't have to admit it. They don't have to tell the media that they did that. But I think they should do that. And I think everybody in every state should look at all of the data that's available. I mean, there's all kinds of factors that are involved. There's social economic factors that are involved. There's racial factors that are involved. There's population percentages. I mean, there's all kinds of factors that are a part of this data analysis of what's going on in states like Florida and Texas versus what's going on in New Mexico. But we have an administration in Santa Fe and an administration in Washington that doesn't appear to be looking at the data when it comes to making decisions like saying we're going to have a mask mandate, we're going to have a vaccine mandate. And it's, and they're going to say, well, most of the cases in the hospitals are people that have not been vaccinated. Well, then that may be true, but that's not 100% of the cases that are in the hospital that have been vaccinated. And there's still ongoing discussions about the effectiveness of the vaccines now, especially for people that have been vaccinated 4, 5, 6, 8 months ago. So there's a lot of things that are at play in this. And remains to be seen what the actual outcome is. But I would certainly, whether I told the press or not, or whether I even told the governor that I did this, I'd pull up Florida data. I'd find as much information as I could about what they did in Florida and Texas and see if any of that applies to the population in New Mexico, and maybe the population of New Mexico could benefit from some of the policy decisions that were made regarding treating the virus. And I think part of it is a mindset too. What is she quoted? What is the doctor quoted in the article here? clearly we flatten this curve, but it is not trending down as we would like to see it. We are sitting on this very high, uncomfortable plateau, which is highly impacting our healthcare delivery system, and the plateau is especially evident in the metro region. And they're saying uncomfortably high plateau in the trend of new COVID-19 cases, but they can't say why the spread of the virus remains high despite the state's high vaccination rate. Why the spread of the virus remains high. And so I think there's two mindsets here. There's a mindset of we're going to stop the spread of the virus versus we're going to figure out ways to safely minimize our risk as much as possible and come up with the best ways to treat people that get exposed to the virus and receive get an infection. You have a positive test. I think these are two different mindsets. And if your mindset is we've got to stop the spread, then you push things like mask mandates and vaccine mandates. And if you say, look, we're gonna educate people, we're going to give people all the tools and information they need to make the best informed decisions for their families, whether it's to wear masks or not wear masks, get vaccinated, not get vaccinated. But if they want to get vaccinated, we're going to have the vaccine. And if they do get an infection, if they do get a positive test result, we're going to throw all the resources that we know behind our healthcare system to help treat people who get a positive COVID-19 test result. Two different mindsets. And you just have to kind of look and see, well, maybe the mindset in Florida and Texas might have been a little bit better mindset than this, we're going to stop the spread. We're going to stop the spread. We're going to prevent the spread. Mask, vaccine type thing. Anyway, it's something to consider. And I hope the people that are that are not political in nature, that they look at all the data and say, well, maybe, this is what they did in Florida. Maybe this is something we could try here. And not be so focused on stopping the spread, but be more focused on treating the people who get sick, and maybe shift the focus just a little bit to that. There's nothing wrong with trying to stop the spread, but it's a virus, and viruses are going to do what viruses are going to do, and it's a difficult challenge, I know. Anyway, that kind of came out yesterday in the news. Mark Ronchetti announced yesterday he's going to be running for governor. Ronchetti ran for the Senate seat against Ben Ray Lujan. Lujan won, and it wasn't even close enough for challenge considerations. But he probably has a pretty significant pool of money setting aside, maybe more so than some of the other candidates that have thrown their hat in the ring. And is that enough? Is the TV weather guy who has name recognition around the state from being on TV and a failed bid to become a senator in a statewide race in New Mexico, is that enough? Is he enough of a recognized and accepted person in the state that while they didn't vote to put him into the Senate, they might vote to put him into the governor's mansion in Santa Fe. So it'll be interesting to see the reaction to that, because there's already some pretty decent candidates that have been announced and have been out there campaigning for the Republican nomination to run against Michelle Lujan Grisham. You've got Jay Block, you've got Zanetti, and there's several others. If I've left some names out, I'm not intending to leave anybody off the list, but there's a number of people on the Republican side that have said, hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna run, and we're gonna get the nomination, and we're gonna try to get on there. And I'll ask Mark the same thing I asked Colonel Zanetti and anybody else that we eventually wind up interviewing. Is there a chance for a non-Hispanic female to get elected to governor in the state of New Mexico? It's an interesting question, and I think has to be part of the consideration, because you can't just win in southeast New Mexico. You got to get enough votes in the areas that you probably won't win, but you got to get enough votes that it will, add to the areas that you're going to do well in, to to do that. I'm sure when the governor campaigns next year in a re-election bid, she's not going to completely write off southeast New Mexico. I mean, there's some Democrats around here that like her and are going to vote for her. And so she's going to do her darndest to get enough people from this part of the state to vote for her to, not be completely overwhelmed by the vote total in this part of the state, and then add that to what she potentially could do in the Las Cruces area in northern New Mexico to just overwhelm any Republican that runs against her. So but is Ron Ketty the guy? Is that the guy? The state of New Mexico did not feel that he was worthy of being a senator for New Mexico, and they voted for Ben Ray Lujan, who's the senator now. But is your opinion of him different when it comes to say, well, I'm going to run for governor? He's I don't think he could be a good senator, but he might be a good governor. I mean, I don't know. Do people think that way? I don't know. But it does add an interesting dynamic because of all the people on the Republican side, here's a candidate who's got pretty good name recognition around the entire state versus some of the other folks that are really having to work hard to get out there and knock on doors and get people to go, okay, you're from Albuquerque. Why are you running? All right, let's get the hour started. We have a pretty good show today. We have our guests lined up. We've got we have Lori Schatz from I didn't write down her production company. Anyway, she's got a benefit concert coming up real soon that you might be interested in, so we're going to talk to Lori about that. We're going to get an update on the Haven of Hope. I think they were getting really close to having their first residents move in, and we'll see just if that has happened or how close they are to that happening. Carol's going to be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour for our weekly update from the Senior Center. In the 9 o'clock hour, we'll have our update on happenings at the Ocotillo, and we'll finish up the show today with a conversation on the history of Artesia with Michael Rebman from the Artesia Historical Museum and Art Center. And I figured it out last night. If you go to KSVP TV on YouTube's, so let's see if we can do this together online here. No, I didn't type in that number. What is it doing? This laptop, I'm typing in two letters, and it's almost like the function key is stuck. Let's try that. That always fixes a computer, doesn't it? Let's see. No, why is it doing that? I'm typing the letter U, and it's putting up the number 6, which is the function character of O. If I hit function O, that's supposed to be 6. Oh, Microsoft, you've done it again. Oh, let's see. Let's do a restart. Maybe I hit a button here and there's something that's not right on this stupid little thing. Anyway, if you go to our YouTube channel, KSVP TV on YouTube, I have a playlist right there of all 6 interviews that we did with the candidates running for Artesia Public Schools Board of Education. So if you go to KSVP TV YouTube, go to YouTube and look up KSVP TV, and right below the live stuff and the recent posts, I've got one playlist up there, and it's all 6 interviews that we did with the candidates that are running for school board in Artesia. There's 3 incumbents and 3 challengers, and we've interviewed all of them, and they're all there. So if you missed anything or hadn't heard them yet or hadn't seen them yet, and you want to go back and review those before you go and vote today or next Tuesday, KSVP TV on YouTube is the channel to go to. And matter of fact, why don't you subscribe and click the bell, and that way every time we go live or upload new content or post anything, you'll get a notification that we've added something to the page. All of our sporting events are streamed there live, and a lot of people find that's the easiest way, the best way to watch content is via the YouTube. That is just insane. All right, how's the numlock getting on? Why? Oh, That's it. The numlock was on. And I didn't have it on. I didn't hit it on. Numlock. You're a numlock, you are. So anyway, go there and you can watch all those interviews and see if that changes your mind or gives you some more information about some of these candidates that maybe you didn't have previously. It's one thing to read a piece of paper and read all the wonderful things about the people that want your vote, but then maybe see them in person actually conversing with someone, answering questions and talking about why they're running and what they want to do if they get elected. It might help you out. All right, we're going to take a break. What kind of weather are we going to have today? Is it going to be windy, Steve? Please tell me no.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks like the really gusty wind is over with for a while. Should be pretty nice today with our afternoon highs in the low 70s and sunshine. Upper 30s and low 40s and clear for the overnight hours, and then pretty comfortable again tomorrow. Highs 70 to 75, and we keep the sunshine. Warming up on Saturday. We're back in the mid 80s and sunny, down to 70 and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Oh, man. All right. What do we have here today? We've got sunny skies and 41 degrees in Artesia. Our humidity is at 41%. The dew point is 20 degrees right now. Winds are out of the northwest at 4, so it's relatively calm this morning. Our barometric pressure at 30.16 and rising. Our air quality is 29, so we have good air quality. Sunset will be at 6:09 this evening and will rise at 7:13 in the morning. Sunny and 45 in Carlsbad, 43 in Roswell, 41 in Hobbs, America. Around New Mexico, 41 in Albuquerque, 38 in Santa Fe, 34 in Cloudcrop, 38 in Ruidoso, 45 in Las Cruces, 32 in Farmington, 27 at Red River, 39 in Clovis, and over there in Lubbock, Texas, they've got sunshine and 52 degrees. Again, here in Artesia, sunny and 41. On the lunch menus today, we've got cereal and banana muffin for the breakfast, roast turkey and gravy, mashed potatoes, green beans, peanut butter fluff, and rolls. Yeah, it's funny, the athletes come in, and they're juniors, seniors in high school, and I ask them, do you eat in the cafeteria? And they all shake their head, and they go, no. And I'm like, why not? I mean, when you can have the peanut butter fluff, I mean, come on. That's just like awesome stuff right there that you could be enjoying right now with turkey and gravy. So maybe you want to try the cafeteria food. Steak fingers, mashed potatoes with cream gravy, carrot raisin salad, whole wheat bread, strawberry jello with fruit. That's the menu at the senior meal site. So it's steak fingers with mashed potatoes and cream gravy at the senior meal site. Senior Center today, they're going to have the exercise video at Rolling at 8:15. 9 to 11 is the painting class. Bridge at 1 o'clock. The open art studio continues at 1. They'll do some Swedish weaving at 1:30. The Texas Hold'em is at 2 o'clock. The exercise video concludes the day at 4 o'clock. Birthdays being celebrated today on this 28th. Cecilia Morales, Joel Ochoa, Ramona Ortiz, and Gene Binkley, all celebrating birthdays on this 28th day of October. Cecilia Morales, Joel Ochoa, Ramona Ortiz, and Gene Binkley. Happy birthday to all of you who are celebrating birthdays today. On the Artesia Public Schools calendar of events, it looks like they've got Picture Day today at Central School. So hopefully the kiddos are all dressed up, combed, haircut, and all that good stuff. So that's Picture Day today at Central School on the Artesia Public School calendar. Okay, let's take the break. We'll come back with some more stuff. I did get my YouTube's things to come up here, so I'll show that to you when you're watching online. But anyway, think about it. Folks want you to vote for them. Let's listen to a few. In the school board election for District 1 on Tuesday in Artesia, you have the opportunity to return to the school board someone who has devoted his entire life to the children of Artesia. Jeffrey David Conklin. From quarterback club to cooking just about every hamburger ever served at a school fundraiser, David Conklin has been there for your children. As a member of the Artesia School Board, David has continued serving by supporting the school board's ongoing efforts to hire and support the best teachers and provide the best possible learning environment for our children. David supports the efforts of the school board to have more local control over our schools. Be sure and watch David's interview on KSVPTV.com. Tuesday, November 2nd, please vote to return a dedicated servant of your children to the school board. Vote to re-elect David Conklin, Artesia Public School Board District 1. This ad paid for by Jeffrey David Conklin.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand and Fiero 106.1 FM for a live broadcast this Saturday from 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda. It's time once again to paint Roswell Honda pink, and that means for every vehicle sold, Roswell Honda will donate $50 to the Chavez County Cancer Fund. Plus, vendors on hand with some great pink merchandise, door prizes, giveaways, and more. We'll have tasty hot dogs and ice-cold Pepsis, and register for your chance to win one of 3 Michael Kors designer purses and a pink Keurig coffee machine. Drawing at 1 must be present to win. See you Saturday at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
High-flying action is back on the High Plains as Eastern New Mexico University men's and women's basketball is back on the hardwood. ENMU has a thrilling home slate as they welcome in conference rivals and national runner-up West Texas A&M, in-state rival Western New Mexico, and many other exciting matchups that you don't want to miss. Season tickets start as low as $50 for the 2021-22 season. Call 575-562-2153 or visit GoEasternAthletics.com for more ticket information. ENMU Greyhound men's and women's basketball, all in.
Looking for a hot cup of coffee and a breakfast burrito to start the day? Brewer's got it. What about a midday snack or a pick-me-up? Brewer's got it. Dinner for the family after a long day? Brewer has what you need. Brewer's grill locations have extended hours, serving up all your favorites and brand new cravables, like their mushroom Swiss burger, their bacon and green chili chicken sandwich, and more. Find your nearest brewer online, then call ahead for super quick pickup. Fuel your smile at a locally owned brewer near you. Whatever you need, Brewer's got it.
For over 77 years, you've counted on Forest Tire Company. Forest Tire knows that just being there for you is what matters most. That's why Michelin packs more innovation inside its tires to maximize performance without sacrificing capabilities, so you can continue to go the extra mile to be there for the ones who matter most. Be it your car, truck, RV, or semi, trust your tires to the folks who know more about tires than anyone else. Forest Tire, keeping you rolling since 1944.
Through Presbyterian Medical Services, Artesia Family Health Center is your all-in-one provider for medical, dental, and behavioral health services. They have highly skilled professionals ready to treat your medical, dental, and behavioral health issues. Appointments are available via phone calls, video calls, and limited office visits to provide you a safe and easy way to take care of your health. Need a COVID test or vaccine? Artesia Family Health not only offers testing, but the Moderna COVID vaccine too. Call and learn more. 575-746-9848 or visit Artesia Family Health at 1105 Memorial Drive in Artesia.
When I was young, I thought I had forever to prepare for retirement. But as the years went by, retirement got closer and closer. Well, I wish I'd have started saving 10 years earlier.
How you spend your retirement depends on what you do now while you're still working. We've helped a lot of area seniors prepare for retirement. Stop in and see us about saving for yours. Western Bank of Artesia. We're big on you. Member FDIC.
Just looking at the Red Cross put out a press release, and they said, here's some Halloween safety tips. Make your cloth mask a part of your costume. A costume mask is not a safe substitute for a cloth mask. Avoid wearing a costume mask over a cloth mask as it can make breathing difficult. Plan outdoor activities and avoid indoor events where the risk of virus transmission is higher. Bring hand sanitizer with you while trick-or-treating and use it after touching objects or other people. Wash your hands when you get home. Avoid trick-or-treating in large groups and social distance from others around the neighborhood. Make sure trick-or-treaters can be seen and can see. Give kids a flashlight to light their way and consider adding reflective tape to costumes and trick-or-treat bags. Walk only on the sidewalks, not on the street. Avoid running. Only visit homes that have a porch light on and never go inside. And then they added this at the last. You can tell because the font is different. The text is actually different. Make sure a grown-up checks the goodies before eating. That's like number one when I was growing up. So, yeah, these are the Halloween safety tips for the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic from the American Red Cross. So make sure your cloth mask is a part of your costume. I don't know. Can they hear the kids going, "I'm Batman," through a cloth mask? I'm not sure. Anyway, and don't trick-or-treat in large groups. Okay. All right, let's see what else is going on here.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Eddy County Treasurer Lori Pruitt has been made aware of a gentleman going door to door stating his name is Robert Cash and telling people that their property taxes are delinquent. He claims their home will be sold at a tax auction. He's offering to buy the property to keep it from being sold and says he will pay the taxes. Reports indicate the man is in the Artesia area but could travel to other areas of Eddy County. The treasurer's office will never send anyone door to door or call you on the phone for payment or to collect any personal information. It's been years in the making, and now officials say the first leg of a major renewable energy transmission line in New Mexico has been energized. The New Mexico Renewable Energy Transmission Authority made the announcement, saying the Western Spirit project is expected to be in operation by the end of the year. The transmission line will carry wind-generated power to the grid in New Mexico and other Western markets. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Now more than ever, you need to stay as healthy as possible. At Lowell's Pharmacy, we want to help by providing flu shots and COVID-19 vaccines. Now is the time to come into Lowell's Pharmacy for your flu shot. Employers can schedule with Lowell's to conduct a flu shot clinic at your place of business. And it's okay to get your flu shot and COVID-19 vaccination at the same time. You will have to register for your vaccine at nmvaccine.org. The key to staying healthy is exercise, eat nutritional foods, keep up your appointments with your doctor, and get the flu shot and COVID-19 vaccine at Lowell's Pharmacy, across from the hospital on North 13th in Artesia.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. The Artesia Bulldogs volleyball team is suddenly back into a 3-team race. Of course, the Bulldogs will tell you they only have themselves to blame after losing to Portales at home 3-2 on Tuesday. Now, Artesia, Goddard, and Portales are all 2-1 in district play. No surprise based upon recent years, but a bit of a surprise based upon what had been happening so far this year. So Artesia is at home Saturday at 2 o'clock against Lovington. Carlsbad, meanwhile, in action tonight in volleyball against Roswell. Carlsbad 6-12, but 2-2 in district. Roswell is 1-3 in district. That match starts at 6:30 tonight. Carlsbad won 3-2 at Clovis on Tuesday. And Loving at Eunice tonight. Loving is 1-5 in district play. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio AM 990.
There's no longer any question that Congress will take action against Facebook and how its algorithms have harmed society. I'm Kim Commando with the one example that's getting the most traction, brought to you by ExpressVPN. Protect your personal data by visiting expressvpn.com/Kim and get an extra 3 months free. 5 years ago, Facebook gave users 5 additional ways to react to a post. Aside from liking, there's love, laugh, wow, sad, or anger. Facebook's engineers discovered that whatever made users angry also led them to use Facebook more, which increased revenues. And whatever angered people was often fake news, misinformation, and sometimes outright lies. Still, Facebook pushed those posts that provoked the anger. The human toll has been unprecedented. Hatred and public distrust have soared. Only now are we learning the full story of Facebook's involvement in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. But there's still a major unanswered question. Why is America angry at everything but Facebook? Get updates at Commando.com. As we age, fatigue and failing endurance can't be fixed with more and more caffeine. Introducing a new way to start your day. Super Beets Heart Chews, a tasty treat that gives you the energy you need, and it's good for you. No more afternoon coffees, energy drinks, and candy for a quick pick-me-up. Just add 2 delicious plant-based Super Beets Heart Chews to your morning routine and promote heart-healthy energy for your day without a caffeine crash. Super Beets Heart Chews' unique, clinically researched grapeseed extract promotes heart-healthy energy and normal blood pressure as part of a healthy lifestyle. The grapeseed extract used in Super Beets Heart Chews has been clinically shown to be 2 times as effective at supporting normal blood pressure as a healthy lifestyle alone. Join over 1 million customers and get free shipping, free returns, and a 90-day money-back guarantee. And right now, you can get a free 30-day supply with your first purchase at kimsbeats.com. kimsbeats.com.
Turpinning & Son Mortuary of Artesia presents a listing of today's obituaries. We do not have any new announcements to share with you, but we do have these reminders. There is a Mass today at 10 a.m. at Our Lady of Grace Church for Alicia Chavez, who passed away October 21st at the age of 86. Rosary will be at 9:30 this morning at Our Lady of Grace Catholic Church. Burial will follow at Woodbine Cemetery. There is a memorial service today at 10 a.m. for Sharon Marie Crawford, who passed away October 20th at the age of 78. Funeral services are at 10 a.m. tomorrow at St. Anthony Catholic Church for Araceli Pacheco, who passed away October 16th at the age of 44. And a memorial service will be held at 1 p.m. Sunday, October 31st at Hope Methodist Church for Ann Bannon of Hope, who passed away October 20th at her home in Hope at the age of 78. This listing has been presented as a service of Turpinning & Son Mortuary of Artesia, where we make it personal. Well, let's check in on the markets, and then we'll be back with our first guest of the day right after this.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. The global computer chip shortage cut into third quarter profits at both Ford and General Motors, with both companies having to temporarily close factories. Ford's net income of $1.83 billion fell 23% from a year ago, while General Motors' profit dropped 40% to $2.4 billion. A ransomware gang believed to operate out of Russia says it hacked the National Rifle Association. The gang, which calls itself Grief, published a handful of what appeared to be the NRA files on a dark website. The files, reviewed by the Associated Press, relate to grants the NRA has awarded. On Wall Street, the Dow down 226 points to 35,490. The Nasdaq up to 15,235, and the S&P 500 down 23 points to 4,551. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Guy Chevrolet Company in Artesia is your one-stop for all your automotive needs. From GM certified service and parts, body and paint repairs, to a great lineup of new Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC models, along with our hand-picked selection of new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs, we've got you covered. We invite you to come see us today for excellent customer service and the hassle-free buying experience you deserve. You'll find us right here on the corner of 1st and Main in Artesia, where we've sat proudly for almost 97 years, or at GuyChevy.com.
It's coming. The Pops Mobile Diner. All the food, fun, and flavors of the 50s street side. The same great food, the same phone number, and the same name. Stay tuned to find out more about Pops Mobile Diner. Coming soon.
Dean's Inc. of Artesia provides a superior choice for all your electrification, communication, and supply needs, with a vision to be the premier industrial electrical service provider in New Mexico and West Texas, providing unparalleled quality in supplies and service with highly skilled and conscious personnel. We pledge to our customers to exhibit the utmost in integrity and reputation while providing superior quality in all we do. Dean's Inc., located at 409 Commerce Road, or online at deansinc.com.
Welcome to Answers with Ken Ham, presented by the Coalition of Christians for Biblical Creation and Brannon Financial Group of Artesia. CCBC is an interdenominational coalition of Christians from Artesia who believe that the account of origins presented in Genesis is a simple but factual presentation of actual events and provides a reliable basis for man's worldview and a framework for scientific investigation into the question of the origin and history of life. For more information, visit our website at www.greenhaw.com/ccbc.htm. Answers with Ken Ham is brought to you in part by Brannan Financial Group. Now, today's program presented by Brannan Financial Group of Artesia.
A cursed design? This is Ken Ham, CEO of Answers in Genesis, the Creation Museum, and the Ark Encounter. This week, we're looking at so-called poor design in the human body. A common example is the birth canal. You see, as mothers well know, it's painful to have a baby. And here's why. The female pelvis is fairly narrow, so it's hard for a baby's large head to fit. Is this bad design? Well, the Bible gives us the answer. Genesis chapter 3 specifically says that pain in human childbirth is a consequence of sin. It's not because God designed us poorly. It's because childbirth is broken by sin. Our world isn't the world God made. It's a groaning, fallen version of the original, very good one he made.
Discover answers for your questions about science, the Bible, and more at AnswersRadio.com. And plan your visit to the Ark Encounter and Creation Museum at AnswersRadio.com.
And I don't even know if I'm spelling it right. That's what's so sad.
Well,
hi,
that's
Lori.
my name. Hi.
So it's Best...
BEST, Shots, SCHOTZ.
SCHOTZ Productions. Okay.
It's an S because we do more than one production.
Well, I knew it. I kind of thought that's what it was, but I didn't want to say it wrong. And so when I said, you know, Lori's coming in and she's got some production company. So it's Best Shots Productions. Okay.
Yes.
Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
You're back from surgery.
Yes, I am. Today is 1 week after my 5th hip replacement in 1 year.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I'm walking with a cane.
What have you been doing? Going to Hips R Us?
Oh. So if it was going to happen, it happened to me. And every time they wanted to do anything else, I'd be like, and they'd be like, oh, this is an easy procedure. I'm like, I want to know the cons because I will be the one that's that statistic. But yeah, someone was supposed to be learning something. Hopefully this time everyone's learned it and we can move on.
Good. Well, I know you've got a concert coming up, not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Correct.
So we're getting close.
Yeah.
And you're working with the Roswell Community Little Theater and the Kiwanis Club of Roswell.
Yep.
So what's that been like working with a couple of groups like that?
It's interesting. Sometimes they're like, you know what you're doing, just go and do it. And other times it's, I can't get hold of anyone. I don't know how they want to do, you know. So, and now we're getting closer. So now it's time to nail down, like, we have a silent auction with a lot of good goodies that I'll talk about later. But, you know, when do you start setting that up? When does the food come? Who's going to get this? Who's responsible for this? Who's responsible for that? And they all agree, but I just don't, sometimes I'm like, that means you have to have someone to go pick that up. You know what I mean? Like, you do understand the words coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have a trust factor there because it's the three of us working together.
Yeah.
And my time is just donated to them. I am a Roswell Kiwanian. We've been trying to build an all-inclusive park. Right before the pandemic hit, we decided to get this project for 100th anniversary. So the Roswell Kiwanians have been around 100 years as of 2021 January.
Okay.
But we couldn't celebrate, obviously, because of the pandemic, and we couldn't groundbreak because of that as well. But a state representative, Greg Nybert, is one of our members, and he went as a Kiwanian to the governess and asked her for seed money for the park, and she gave us seed money. So we had a site selection.
When you say seed money, did she think this was marijuana plants? Or did she?
We don't care. No, I don't know.
Just how did Greg get that sold? That's what we want to know.
And it goes, of course, the fiduciary is the city of Roswell. So we had a site selection celebration the Friday before I went to surgery. So not So last Friday, I guess. No, 2 Fridays ago.
2 Fridays ago.
2 Fridays ago.
Mhm.
And so that was exciting because we wanted it to happen during our 100th year. And it did. That was something Mr. Nybert was very insistent on as well. I don't care if it's December 31 at, 11:59 p.m. We are having
some kind of an event to recognize that we're doing this.
Right.
Is going to happen. So
and we
that's
did
good.
partner with the New Mexico Autism Society, and the national director of the Autism Society flew in for the celebration. So that was really cool. We had over 16 Kiwanians there that day, and a lot of representatives that helped get that passed through, because not only did she give us money, then they decided to give us money. And now that money isn't really worth what it was worth when they gave it to us, right? Because everything is so expensive.
That's right.
So we are out to raise lots of money. And this is the Kiwanians, and we have 2 things happening on November 6th. The first thing is, in the morning, don't have to be present. It is a golf ball drop, which I know someone here did one over at ours, and I guess it's popular in Roswell. I have not
The
heard of it.
9/11 Memorial folks did it for their golf tournament.
Okay.
They had one of the air rescue helicopters that did
well, that's
did their
cool.
drop.
Ours is a fire truck with a ladder.
That's fine.
And there's a target, and they drop 1,000 golf balls, and we're hoping to sell 1,000 tickets. We are still selling tickets. In fact, I still have 4 left.
Yeah.
So then there's only $10.
Okay.
And if you are the closest to the center, you win the money. Now, sometimes, if the ball isn't sold, the organization keeps the money. That's not what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
So if that ball isn't sold, we're going to the next ball until we get a winner. So we will have 6 winners. There are 6 prizes. $600 is the first prize. Second prize is $400. At Roswell Tire, gift card for $250. At the gun store, $250. $100 to Target, and $50 to Cattle Baron. So all those prizes will be given out the morning, November 6th, in the morning for the golf ball drop. It will happen. We'll start setting it up in the morning. It actually happens at noon.
Okay.
So you do not need to be present to win. I have sold tickets to people in Indiana, Wisconsin, California, because they don't need to be here. And it's fantastic. And especially if they say, I really would like to come see Swearing in Kelly do the music of Simon and Garfunkel. I'm not going to be in town. Okay, but you could still support if you would buy a golf ball ticket, so how many can I get you?
Right. So if you can't...
And that's really worked in my favor for getting...
So if you want to go to the concert, you can buy tickets for that. If you're not going to go to the concert or don't want to go to the concert, you can buy tickets for the golf ball drop. Okay.
And these are 10. So the concert is the same day, Saturday, at 2 and 7:30. There's a VIP ticket that you will come at 1 o'clock, and we'll call all the VIP people closer to time. So at 1 o'clock for the 2 o'clock, at 6:30 for the 7:30, you will have what we're going to call the Taste of Roswell. We have 4 different restaurants that is offering 5 different restaurants offering us a plethora of food, and you'll have some wine, and there will be a silent auction. You will get first dibs in the silent auction. It's a private room with the food and the wine in it, so you don't have to worry when the others come in. You can still partake, and you get to meet the act prior to the show.
Okay.
So they'll come in that private room for 10 minutes before the concert, and you get the primo seats. So that's $40. $28 is a regular ticket. You still can participate in the silent auction. Now, Roswell Community Little Theater is trying to raise money for a new roof.
Okay.
And they are going to do a wine pull. And so there will be 10 to 20 bottles of wine, all in wine bags. You give $20, you pick a bag.
Okay.
There will be 1 bottle at each show that's worth $45.
Okay.
So you could get a hoop-de-hoo bottle of wine. And then it also is kind of makes people talk to each other. If I get white and you get red and I rather have the red, do you really want that red? And I don't want sweet and I want dry. So it's kind of a mixer kind of thing. So that's what they're going to do to raise money for the roof outside of the concert. And then the Kiwanis has a silent auction. And we have everything from hypnosis, chiropractic, CrossFit gym, a grand winner of the Eastern Mexico Fair.
Is there a comma in there? Is that two different things?
What?
Hypnotic chiropractic?
There's a comma.
Okay.
Two separate.
I was going to say, you only think.
Right, you only think you're getting chiropractic. Benny's Western Wear, we have a gift certificate for that. We have a coffee basket, a champagne basket, a non-alcoholic with sparkling juice basket. People have just been so generous, both here and in Roswell. The artists in Roswell have given us paintings and clay. Wen Boomhauer has given us an award-winning picture, a painting actually of David Bowie, which is really cool. Becky Neal has donated. Joe Gothard is a homemade, if you saw that article about he and his brother, they make knives now. So he's donated that. So I just want to thank everyone that donated to the auction. There'll be two separate auctions because Lori couldn't figure out how to do one auction at two separate times and make it fair for the first people that came, because they're not coming back to the second one.
Gotcha.
To up their bid. So we have a lot of doubles. So it should be exciting. We're hoping to get golf course passes. I don't know how that works.
Okay.
But for two people to play on a golf course in Roswell.
Now the concert is Swearingen and Kelly.
Yes.
What do they play?
They are going to do, they do a lot of country music, but they are doing the music of Simon and Garfunkel.
Okay.
And if you Google them and go on the YouTubes, as you call it, you can hear them prior to the concert. They sound, close your eyes. I mean, it's great what they do. And they're coming in from Tennessee is where they're located. So they're going to fly in and be with us. And they're doing 2 concerts that day and actually 4 meet and greets because they will meet and greet after for everyone that is there. And they will have, of course, their CDs and et cetera.
And this concert's taking place
at the Roswell Community Little Theater. So it's the first time I think that they've had a professional concert, at least under this board of directors.
Yeah.
And so we're just really, I'm nervous about it because it's the first one I've done out of the box. Of course, I want it to go well, both for the Kiwanians and for the Little Theater. But I think God gave a little boost last night because I've been like, okay, I've done everything I can to make this happen. So now, up to you. So I get home last night. We were at the theater making sure we had all the right things for the concert, tech-wise. And I get a phone call. Hi, I'd like 14 tickets to the... And I'm what? Yes,
we will accept your order.
Exactly.
So this is on Saturday, November 6th, 2 to 7:30.
Yes. 2 and 7:30.
2 and 7:30, and you're benefiting the Roswell Community Little Theater and the Roswell Kiwanians.
Which all that money goes for the all-inclusive park.
Right.
And you don't know what that is. Some of you are like, well, can regular kids go? That's not fair. And it's all-inclusive with a focus on autism. So it will be wheelchair accessible. It will be, ADD. It will be, we're trying to cover it all so that all kids, all levels and disabilities or non-disabilities can come in and play together.
So can you go online and buy tickets?
Yes, you can. And it's very easy. It's roswelltheater.com. And the first thing you see is the music of Simon and Garfunkel. Hit it. Takes you right to the seating chart. You hit your seats. Takes you right to your basket. If you don't want to do that, you can call 575-513-8119. I jump online and I go ahead and get your tickets ready for you.
Lori, thank you so much.
Thank
Good to see you. We'll see you again next week.
That's right.
All right, let's go to the news here on KSVP Artesia.
A gaggle of reporters shouting questions at the president at the Capitol as House Speaker Pelosi escorts him to a meeting with Democrat lawmakers. Mr. Biden hoping to win their support for his climate and social spending agenda. The original $3.5 trillion blueprint now down to around $1.75 trillion. The president delayed his departure for Europe in order to meet with the lawmakers on the Hill. Later today, Mr. Biden leaves for Rome as the White House downplays his abortion stance ahead of tomorrow's planned meeting with Pope Francis.
President Biden's support of abortion rights stands in contrast to Catholic doctrine. But White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says the president and Pope agree on many other important issues.
Poverty, combating the climate crisis, ending the COVID-19 pandemic.
She says those issues will be the centerpiece of their discussion. However, Pope Francis has made clear that the church believes abortion is murder. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Controversy over COVID vaccination rules in Contra Costa County, California, where a fast food eatery was shut down for refusing to verify that indoor diners had vaccination cards or proof that they had tested negative in the past 72 hours. Customer Spencer Von Goem says Big Brother should back off.
These mandates and this pandemic and this vaccine, it's just become like a giant excuse for the government to control more people's lives and encroach on more people's liberties.
U.S. economic growth took a hit in the third quarter of the year, falling to a 2% annual rate. Watching Wall Street, stocks are higher this hour. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 196 points. The NASDAQ ahead 93, and the S&P trading 28 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
The United Nations Crime Agency says it's made a massive drug bust as Southeast Asia's biggest ever drug seizure.
Police in Laos' northern Bokeo province intercepted a truck which appeared to be carrying beer crates. Stashed inside, they found a record haul, 55 million amphetamine tablets and over 1.5 tons of crystal methamphetamine. The regional head of the UN's Office on Drugs and Crime, Jeremy Douglas, told the BBC there's been a significant increase in drug supplies to the Golden Triangle, the intersection of Laos, Thailand and Myanmar, leading the wider region to be absolutely flooded with methamphetamine.
The BBC's Celia Hatton. The European Central Bank is keeping its pandemic stimulus efforts unchanged, even as consumer prices spike. The central banks in other parts of the world look to dial back support for various economies around the globe. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. It has been said that money is the mother's milk of politics, and that milk is flowing like a river through a closely watched gubernatorial race.
During the first 3 months of October, Republican candidate for Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin outraised Democrat Terry McAuliffe, while McAuliffe outspent Youngkin. That's according to campaign finance reports compiled by the nonpartisan Virginia Public Access Project. Youngkin closed out the period with nearly $6 million cash on hand advantage. The two candidates have already blown past fundraising records from previous Virginia gubernatorial elections. They've raised a combined $117 million through October 21st, nearly double the haul of the second highest fundraising total of the past 20 years. Keith Peters reporting.
At least one person injured, dozens of homes damaged by powerful storms pounded parts of western Louisiana and East Texas yesterday. Tornado, Lake Charles, Louisiana. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Today's KSVIPs, Eunice and Kim. We're getting ready to party all weekend because it's Halloween and birthdays for Eunice and Kim. Eunice is Lana's mom. Kim is a teacher in the Roswell schools and married to Mike Winters. Eunice and Kim will each receive a flower from Lovebud Floral. Happy birthday to our Pecos Valley Broadcasting Halloween birthdays on Sunday, October 31st. Eunice and Kim.
MIT. Got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your 40 out.
Hey, welcome back to the Good Morning Artesia radio show as we get ready for the 8 o'clock hour. And by the way, I did buy the winning tickets for the golf ball drop, so you can buy tickets, but you're just making a donation at this point. Coming up here on the Good Morning Artesia radio show this hour, we're going to get an update on the Haven of Hope. And Carol's going to join us from the Artesia Senior Center and give us an update on what's going on there. In the 9 o'clock hour, Michael Redmond will join us from the Artesia Historical Museum and Arts Center. We'll talk about the history of Artesia. And we'll also have our weekly update from our friends at the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center. So that's all coming up today. We do have some sports on the TV tonight. Roswell High volleyball team is at Carlsbad, and Art Sandoval is going to be covering that. And Roy's going with them with a camera, and you can actually go to KSVPTV.com and watch that game. And I promise I'm not making the mistake I made the other night. We schedule these broadcasts, and you schedule a start time and you schedule an end time. And we try to put an end time to account for any overages or overtimes. It's okay if we go long with the time, because as soon as we're done, we just stop the broadcast and it ends. But if you don't put the right end time and the game goes past the end time, then the broadcast ends and it cuts off in the middle of whatever time it is. And that happened to me Tuesday night. I apologize. I am so sorry. This volleyball game started late. Varsity didn't start till around 7 o'clock, and I didn't make the adjustment on the back end. And very early in the fifth set, the event timed out. And I caught it right away, and I reinitialized another event and got it up again. The scoreboard wasn't there. And we might have missed a minute or so or two of the activity in the fifth set. But I was having a conversation yesterday with Jeff from New Mexico Military Institute, and we talked about that. And both of us said, look, just push your times out. You don't want people to get upset because an event gets cut off, especially at a prime time in an event. So anyway, tonight, girls volleyball at Roswell High is at Carlsbad. It's a district game for those two schools, and that'll be on the KSVP TV channel about 6:30 tomorrow. Friday, we've got some high school football action on Friday. We have Artesia football versus Alamogordo. We have Roswell High football at Goddard, and you can watch on both the Goddard channel and the Roswell channel. It'll be the same video content, but if you click on the Goddard channel, you'll hear Chris and Chris, and if you click on the Roswell channel, you'll hear Art and Kelly. So you'll see the same video, but you'll get the two different perspectives from the different announcing crews. That'll be on Friday. And then on Saturday, we've got college sports. Texas Tech at Oklahoma. They have a new football coach. They fired the football coach after last week's loss against Kansas State. So they'll start out with the new coach on the road at Oklahoma. And we're going to join the pregame show in progress around 1 o'clock, and kickoff is set for 1:30 Saturday afternoon on 92.9 The Brand. Artesia Volleyball, they are starting the second half of district season, and they'll be hosting Lovington at the Pit at 2 o'clock on Saturday. That'll be on radio and TV. Robbie Ballou will be doing the play-by-play for that game on Saturday. Goddard Volleyball starts the second half of their season against Portales at Ground Zero. That'll be on the TV channel at 3. And then on the radio on KEND 106.5 Saturday afternoon, Eastern New Mexico University Greyhounds hosting Angelo State University. They moved the kickoff up to 4 o'clock. So originally it was at 6. It's now at 4. 3:45 pregame with Doc Elder, and 4 o'clock kickoff for that game. Aggies are off this weekend, so there's no New Mexico State football this Saturday. I think we've also got some Bronco volleyball and football that's thrown in on there. I think we have a Colt football game on Friday night as they're wrapping up their district season, and we've got a Bronco volleyball game on Saturday, I believe, coming up on the TV channel as well. All right, what kind of weather are we going to have today? I think the wind is going to stay down. Steve, what do you tell us?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks like the really gusty wind is over with for a while. Should be pretty nice today with our afternoon highs in the low 70s and sunshine. Upper 30s and low 40s and clear for the overnight hours, and then pretty comfortable again tomorrow. Highs 70 to 75, and we keep the sunshine. Warming up on Saturday. We're back in the mid-80s and sunny, down to 70 and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All right, Steve-O, thank you very much. We've got sunshine out there, 42 degrees. Our winds are from the north, calm. Humidity at 46%. Dew point is 23 degrees. Our air quality index is 28, so we have good air quality. We had a high yesterday of 72 and an overnight low of 33. 1 year ago, we had a high of only 29 and a low of 23. Minimum 4-inch soil temps are between 60 and 63 degrees. The sun will set at 6:09 this afternoon and will rise at 7:13 in the morning. Around the region, sunny and 45 in Carlsbad, 43 in Roswell, 48 in Hobbs. Around the state, lots of sunshine. 40 in Albuquerque, 37 in Santa Fe, 34 in Cloudcroft, 33 at Ruidoso, 45 at Las Cruces, 32 at Farmington, 26 at Red River, and 41 in Clovis. And over there in the free state of Texas, Lubbock checking in with sunny skies and 54 degrees, sunny and 41 in Artesia. Well, our first guests of the day coming up next on the Good Morning Artesia radio show.
Guy Chevrolet Company in Artesia is your one-stop for all your automotive needs. From GM certified service and parts, body and paint repairs, to a great lineup of new Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC models, along with our hand-picked selection of new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs, we've got you covered. We invite you to come see us today for excellent customer service and the hassle-free buying experience you deserve. You'll find us right here on the corner of 1st and Main in Artesia, where we've sat proudly for almost 97 years, or at GuyChevy.com.
Tuesday, November 2nd, please vote to re-elect Lowell M. Irby for Artesia Public Schools Board of Education District 4. Here's former coach, teacher, principal, and superintendent Mike Phipps.
I worked with Mr. Irby as a teacher, a coach, an administrator, and my last 20 years as a superintendent. Mr. Irby's support for students and teachers in the Artesia schools has always been strong, very, very strong. Thanks to Lowell's leadership on the school board, I was always proud to say that I came from Artesia. The issues may be different today than they were when I was in the school system, but I know this: there's no bigger bulldog when it comes to fighting for our kids and Artesia than Lowell Irby. An example of Mr. Irby's leadership is that our district is debt-free. We owe no money on any of the buildings, and our school district is financially sound. And I really, really appreciate his leadership over the years in making sure that we pay as we go, and that's always been his motto.
Paid for by Lowell M. Irby.
Artesia Clean and Beautiful will be hosting a composting class on October 30th at 10 a.m. at the First United Methodist Church Fellowship Hall. This will be taught by Robert Flynn from the New Mexico State University Ag Science Center here in Artesia. This is a free class, but please call 748-3192 to register. This will be educational, interesting, and most of all, fun. This is one of the best ways to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Join us on October 30th at 10 a.m. For more information, call 748-3192.
Kiwanis of Roswell and the Roswell Community Little Theater present the music of Simon and Garfunkel, performed by folk duo Swearingen and Kelly, Saturday, November 6th at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Fundraiser performance times will be at 2 p.m. and at 7:30 p.m. Reserve seats are $28 and VIP $40. Purchase tickets online at roswelltheater.com or call 575-513-8119. Don't miss this fundraising tribute to the magical sounds of Simon and Garfunkel by Swearingen and Kelly, Saturday, November November 6th, 2 and 7:30 p.m. at the Roswell Community Little Theater.
When that problem arises, one call to Crouch Plumbing and Heating is all it takes. Crouch's plumbers and technicians are highly trained. No problem is too big or too small for Crouch. Whether you need a water heater replaced, a gas line run, a leaky faucet repaired, or your heater or AC serviced, Crouch can do it all. Your problem is their problem, till it's no longer a problem. Call on Crouch for timely response, quality workmanship at a fair price. Servicing Carlsbad and Artesia.
When was the last time a bank asked you if you'd like to keep more of your money? At Artesia Credit Union, you pay yourself by avoiding big bank fees and all the corporate investors that go along with them. Let Artesia Credit Union help you achieve financial happiness. From home and auto loans to a working line of credit or sending your kids to college, membership is open to anyone who calls New Mexico home. Stop by the branch on 5th Street or log on to artesiacu.org. Artesia Credit Union, member NCUA, an equal housing lender.
Time to put the treats back in the trunk. Trunk or Treat is back at Carlsbad Ford, your home of the no sales commission zone. Stop in today, pick any vehicle on the lot, crack open the trunk, and get your treat. They have tons of spooktacular costumes in every size. And while you're there, register to win a Samsung 65-inch curved 4K UHD TV with Alexa built in. They have huge deals on all remaining 2021 F-150s in stock with 0% APR for 72 months. Also, huge deals on used vehicles during the Rocktober clearance sale. Only at your home of the no sales commission zone, Carlsbad Ford.
I call it stealing. Welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. Time for our update on what's happening at Haven of Hope. And joining us is the executive director, Anita Braun. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, another day, another 2 bits, I think is my catchphrase. And then I remember that I'm old, and there's probably a lot of people that don't know what I mean when I say 2 bits.
Oh, dear. 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1.
That's right. So 2 bits would be
25 cents.
That's right. That's right. So
I'm old too.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
I did not say that.
I filled in the blank for you.
Yeah, but there's quite a few folks that you say things like that, or just dial a number. What? You know, and of course because that harkens back to the rotary dial when you had to.
Or record scratch. Who does that anymore?
That's right. Well, I think some of the DJs do that for some effect, but then they don't even have records anymore. It's all digital and CDs, and not even CDs. I think it's just all virtual, and it's like, anyway, it is what it is. And then you brought a guest with you today.
I did. I brought Rebecca Williams with me. I mentioned her last month when I was on to thank your listeners for helping me find her. Mm-hmm. She was hired as our family life coordinator.
Okay.
And Rebecca is my unicorn. She is a 1 in a million find, and she was right here in Artesia.
Okay.
And what the family life coordinator does is manage the cottage where our residents will be living.
Okay.
So feel very, very fortunate to have her and to have her with me here today.
That's great. Well, nice to meet you, Rebecca. And you were already here in Artesia?
I was.
Yeah. What were you doing?
I've been with the schools for the last 7 years.
Okay.
I moved over here.
Were you a teacher or administrator? Or?
An aide in the Access program.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you from Artesia originally?
I am. I was born and raised in Artesia. My parents are Mona and Herm Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you've had to explain some things to Anita about the Artesia way, right?
A little bit, yeah.
You know, because she's from like Hobbs, I think.
I know.
That's the rumor.
I know.
Well, that's great. So were you just were you looking for an opportunity, or did a bunch of your friends say, you know, you really need to check this out?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't looking, and people said, "Hey, I heard Anita on the radio, and you need to look into this." So.
Yeah. So you called Anita, or did Anita call you? Did these same people call you, Anita?
No, Rebecca reached out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I emailed.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Again, thank you to your listeners.
Yeah.
You know, radio works.
We have a few.
We sure do.
They're great people, all of them.
Yes.
Well, that's fantastic. So, what you kind of touched on it, Anita, but what will the family life coordinator do? What will some of your day-to-day routines and activities that you're planning on doing?
I think, well, I'm going to manage the cottage, so but my main job is going to be getting to know the clients that live there, and just learning their day-to-day lives and just building that relationship.
That's good. And Anita, you haven't started accepting clients just yet, but you're getting ever so close to being able to do so.
We're in the very beginning of the vetting process. We've already started doing background checks. And once we get into our building, hopefully in November, it's coming up very soon, we'll start doing more intense interviews, one-on-one with myself and the potential client. And then Rebecca will be doing a series of interviews. And we're going to look and see who's going to be a good match for us. We don't do the mirror test. Just because you fog a mirror doesn't mean we're going to accept you. There's many criteria that people have to match, tangible and intangible.
That's where the interview process comes in, because you get the paperwork filled out. That tells you just part of the story. It doesn't tell you the whole story. So I drove by there the other day, and I noticed there's fencing going up and gate structures are going up. So how close are you?
We are close. We did the punch list walkthrough yesterday, and if no one has ever gone through that, let me tell you, it's a daunting process. We were out there for 6.5, 7 hours going through both buildings with a fine-tooth comb, well, interior and exterior, and just going through those last-minute things that need to be looked at and finalized. Hopefully next week the city inspector will be out there and we'll get our verbal certificate of occupancy, and then Rebecca and I can start moving into our offices, and Rebecca actually can move into her apartment that's in our cottage. So yeah, but she's sitting on go. She is
You've
ready.
already given notice. You're ready to go, and then hopefully they're not going to kick you out before this new apartment is ready. Hopefully you've got that worked out.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to be living in a car, on the site.
None of that. No. Actually, my car looks like I'm living in it because I bought all the towels that we need, but I'm storing them in my car, so I'm driving around as if looks like I live in my car right now.
Well,
it's just a mobile storage unit right now.
That's right. Well, that'll be fixed soon.
It's just the life of an executive director. You just do whatever it takes.
That's right. Landscaping, how's that?
It's coming along. We Richard Ortiz here in Artesia is our landscaping contractor, and the irrigation is being put in now. We were dealing with some dust mitigation, so a lot of watering is going on right now.
Sure.
But it's coming along.
Yeah, that was a real problem a couple of days ago with all the high winds, I bet. Fortunately, at the soccer game Tuesday afternoon, the city of Artesia sent a water truck out and watered down everything around the soccer field. So even though it was windy on Tuesday, it wasn't windy with all kinds of dirt in your face and all that. Right. Just future-looking question, is the facility that's being built now that's going to open here in a few weeks, is that it, or are there plans to maybe add some additional cottages to that location?
There is.
Okay.
This is just phase 1.
Okay.
And we know that there could be phase 2 and phase 3. We have space right now within our 5 acres that's fenced. You can see the boundary of that. There's space for another cottage, and then in the opening the entry fields that you see between Ritchie Street and the current buildings, there's space there for duplexes for our Next Step program.
Okay.
So that's
in the future.
That is in the future.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be in the process of analyzing what needs to be built next. Will it be the cottage or will it be the duplexes? We'll see. Time will tell.
Kind of depends on the applications and the interviews and where that takes you. Are the cottages full yet, or do you still have room for more residents to apply?
I have room for more applications.
Okay.
People, please don't slow down sending in applications. If you're interested personally, or if you know someone who Haven of Hope could help, please go to our website. It's havenofhopenm.com. Our application is there online, or people can give me a call at 575-441-1580, and I can walk them through the process of how to get an application.
Okay. So there are still applications you're welcoming applications to
Yes,
come
we
in
are.
and be submitted, and then you hope to start. Have you started doing interviews, or is that coming up here real
We've
soon?
had some informal interviews so far, but we'll be doing more. The formalized interviews will be starting in November and into December, and
when you can move into your
yes. So everything is still up in the air.
Yeah.
We need to get in there, get everything set up. Then the holidays are going to hit.
That's right.
So most likely we'll have our first residents move in January.
In January.
We're all just being as flexible as possible right now.
Okay.
Because we are not in control.
Not yet. Not until
No, we are not in
you
control.
accept the facility and it gets turned over.
No, and the point is too is that there's a greater, higher power that's in control, and we have to accept what's coming our way. So
Yeah.
Just have peace in that, and we deal with it.
Very good. For those that may be hearing this for the first time or seeing the construction but aren't yet really familiar with what's going on, what is Haven of Hope? When you talk about your clients or your residents that are going to be staying there, or applications, who applies, who's going to be living at
Thank
Haven
you for
of Hope?
asking that.
Yeah.
So we serve single mothers and their children. And these mothers are women that are working or going to school or both, but they're in financial crisis. The cost of living is such that they can't get ahead. A disproportionate amount of their income is going toward their rent. So we're a place where they can come and live for a very low nominal fee of $50 a month. Help them start building up savings. In fact, we require our residents to save 30% of their income each month.
Okay.
We'll teach them financial management skills. We'll get them connected to counseling if that's needed. As I said, they're all single mothers, so we know that everyone is coming from fractured relationships, right? So people may need to have some counseling services, some mental health services. We'll get them connected to that. If they need education to help them become employable at a higher level so they can be competitive in the real estate market here, we'll get them connected there. But mainly we're there to provide supports. As Rebecca said, she's going to be getting to know the moms and the kids, and she'll be noticing their needs. They might not even recognize that, but she'll be able to gently give them a gentle nudge in the direction of what they need.
Okay.
Rebecca's an incredible peacemaker, and and she's very insightful of human nature. That's one of the things that drew me to her. So she's going to be ideal at guiding people in the direction that they need to go in.
Great.
And it's all about them building themselves up to be able to be independent, contributing members of society. These are people that are motivated. They don't want to be taking government money. They want to support themselves and their family very proudly into the future.
That's fantastic. So, Rebecca, are you going through training courses right now, crash courses on different things that you're going to be knowledgeable about to help these folks out?
Yes. We just got back from Houston.
And we did a 2-day training in Houston with an organization that does the same type of work. You talk about intense training.
Yes. Eye-opening and exciting.
Wow. So you couldn't get up and go walk around Houston. You had to stay there and stay focused.
Well, yes. And we were soaking in as much as we could.
And we wanted to stay right there.
Right.
Now, don't get us wrong. We did some retail therapy.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, you're not going to go to Houston and not.
That is fantastic. So, what are you looking to? What are you bringing to the table, so to speak, with your experience and what you want to do to help these folks? And then what do you hope to gain from this type of a job?
Well, I'm a single mom myself. I have my son Wilson, who's almost 8 in less than a month. And so I came back to Artesia with the newborn, and if this program would have been here, I would probably have been their first applicant and gone through it. And so it's exciting to see that we have this opportunity in Artesia. And so
when you're getting to know the residents that are going to be living there, you're going to have some personal experience that you can draw upon to say, well, you don't understand. Well, yes, I do.
Yes, I do. I get it. Yep.
Yeah.
And she's living it now. She'll be raising her son on our property. And he's going to be a part of the family.
Yep.
That is fantastic. So you're really looking forward to that.
I am. I really am. Yes.
Yeah. That is great. Well, what else do we need to talk about or update folks on?
Well, there's opportunities to sponsor rooms.
Okay.
If people are interested in being a named sponsor, please reach out and get in touch with me. Through our website, there's an email opportunity there, or people can email me directly at abraun, it's ABRAUN, at havenofhopenm.com.
Okay. Very good. I've got the website up here. So this is where people can find out more about the facility. They can fill out applications, or they can start the application process online on the website. Okay. And it's havenofhopenm.com. Now, is this the only facility like this in New Mexico right now?
It's the only one I've found so far.
Okay.
There are other organizations with the same type of mission. We actually visited an organization in Albuquerque that sounded just like us on paper on their website. Went up there and it's completely different. They're spread out all around town, whereas all of our residents live together in a community setting. So the way our building is set up, every family has their own bedroom suite. It's a bedroom bathroom suite, but there's a community kitchen, community living areas, study space, laundry room, instead of individual apartments. I think that's one area where people have misunderstood. They think that we're individual cottages. No, it's one cottage for 5 to 6 families to share.
Right. And they get their own bedroom, bathroom, but the kitchen area and everything else is common area.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Well, there's probably a little bit of give and take and learning to
my job.
Work well with others, as they say. So that's what you get to do. You get to mediate. Yep. Yeah. Not everybody gets a TV, right? They got to share.
They're in the living spaces and in the community room.
Yeah. So they got to share the microwave.
Well, actually, in the kitchen we have 3 stoves, 3 microwaves, 5 refrigerators. So there's, and again, they'll be coordinated. All that space will be coordinated by Rebecca.
So 5 refrigerators. So each family can have their own refrigerator.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have 2 rooms that have adjoining doors in case there's a large family. So more than likely we'll be serving 5 families. So the 5 refrigerators make sense.
Yeah. Well, that's good, because otherwise you'll never know who drank your tea.
Well, we'll have a lot of Sharpies, I think, marked containers. One thing I would like to clear up for the public is to make sure people understand that this is not a homeless shelter, and this is not a domestic violence shelter. No, this is for women that are in financial crisis.
Okay.
And who are trying to better their lives and their families' lives. They may have those issues in their background, but it's not their current issue.
Sure. And it's always been discussed as such.
Yes.
But even though you say it, and here's what it is, and here's who's going to be living here, you still have some misinterpretation or understanding.
Artesia is blessed to have organizations that help with those issues. Grammy's House is fantastic for people that are experiencing domestic violence. We don't need to duplicate that effort.
Right.
So we can, if someone comes to us with that issue, we can refer them. We're happy to do that. But because we're not equipped to serve that population in their crisis moments.
Right.
But we know someone who can help them.
Sure. So it's adding a program for a specific need that's not already being taken care of primarily by one of these other organizations. Okay. Well, anything else we need to cover today?
No, other than thank you so much for allowing us to come in and give you an update.
Okay. And Rebecca, congratulations on the new job.
Thank you.
Hope you get to move in soon.
I'm counting days.
Fingers crossed.
Or you'll be, but I know where you can get a towel if you need one.
Right.
24 of them, in fact.
Oh, that is fantastic. So, Haven of Hope is the project, is the facility, and you're hoping to be ready in November, but have actually your first...
for the building to become ours in November.
And then get through the holidays and then start accepting residents in January.
We're ready to welcome them too.
Good. Anita Braun, Executive Director. Rebecca Williams, FLC.
Yes, sir.
To the EXE. To the HOH.
Thank you, Mr. DJ.
I'm going to stop right now before I get in trouble here. Thank you so much for being here.
Have a good day.
We'll see you next time. All right, let's take a break. See what it's in the news. Oh, we have a Cowboys report. Ooh, coming up.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Eddy County Treasurer Lori Pruitt has been made aware of a gentleman going door to door stating his name is Robert Cash and telling people that their property taxes are delinquent. He claims their home will be sold at a tax auction. He's offering to buy the property to keep it from being sold and says he will pay the taxes. Reports indicate the man is in the Artesia area but could travel to other areas of Eddy County. The treasurer's office will never send anyone door to door or call you on the phone for payment or to collect any personal information. It's been years in the making, and now officials say the first leg of a major renewable energy transmission line in New Mexico has been energized. The New Mexico Renewable Energy Transmission Authority made the announcement, saying the Western Spirit project is expected to be in operation by the end of the year. The transmission line will carry wind-generated power to the grid in New Mexico and other Western markets. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. The Artesia Bulldogs volleyball team is suddenly back into a 3-team race. Of course, the Bulldogs will tell you they only have themselves to blame after losing to Portales at home 3-2 on Tuesday. Now, Artesia, Goddard, and Portales are all 2-1 in district play. No surprise based upon recent years, but a bit of a surprise based upon what had been happening so far this year. So Artesia is at home Saturday at 2 o'clock against Lovington. Carlsbad, meanwhile, in action tonight in volleyball against Roswell. Carlsbad 6-12, but 2-2 in district. Roswell is 1-3 in district. That match starts at 6:30 tonight. Carlsbad won 3-2 at Clovis on Tuesday. And Loving at Eunice tonight. Loving is 1-5 in district play. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio, AM 990.
Hey everyone, with today's Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. How much work did Dak Prescott get at practice yesterday? The answer after this.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
What does it mean to be a part of Cowboys Nation? At Reliant, it means powering the home of the Dallas Cowboys and homes of Cowboys fans across Texas and helping out when needed most. As an electricity provider, it's our commitment to every customer and their family, and it's as strong as our Texas roots. It's our promise today and for generations to come. Reliant, proud to be the official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
PUCT number 10007.
This is the second day of game plan install for the Cowboys as they prepare for the weekend road trip to the Vikings. And no one, not even Dak's good buddy Zeke Elliott, knows if Dak or backup quarterback Cooper Rush will play on Sunday.
Honestly, I don't know. I hope he'll be available. From what we're hearing, it sounds like he'll be available. But not saying I'm not worried about it, because obviously we want to have Dak out there, but I have a lot of confidence in Coop. He knows his offense. He's confident, and he can play. I mean, you guys seen him in preseason. He's a baller. If his number's called, I believe he'll be ready.
Rush took first-team snaps yesterday with Dak listed as limited as he continues rehabbing his calf strain, and he worked only in the individual drills in practice. Also, Lyle Collins is back after serving his suspension, but Terrence Steele remains the first-team right tackle. With the boys at the Star, I'm Christy Scales.
We're back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. Hope things are well with you as we get things off to a good start. Beautiful day today. We don't have the wind gusts blowing everything around and blowing the dirt around like we've had the last couple of days. So this is what we call chamber weather. If you're at a Chamber of Commerce and you're trying to encourage people to visit or stay or businesses to locate, this is the day you take them around town and show them everything and bring them to the Bulldog Bowl and show the schools and all of our businesses and all that other kind of stuff. Because if you'd have done that on Tuesday, it probably would have been a tough sell. But days like today make it worth it. So Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Speaking of the weather, let's get Steve in here and let us know what type of conditions we're going to be dealing with today. Steve?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks like the really gusty wind is over with for a while. Should be pretty nice today with our afternoon highs in the low 70s and sunshine. Upper 30s and low 40s and clear for the overnight hours, and then pretty comfortable again tomorrow. Highs 70 to 75, and we keep the sunshine. Warming up on Saturday, we're back in the mid-80s and sunny, down to 70 and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
I get a little tickled. A lot of people do reaction videos on the YouTubes, as I like to call it, and the band Rush apparently is a good band to get reactions from because they don't block all the videos that people do. But I do get a little irritated because they'll say, all right, today we're going to review Rush, The Spirit of the Radio. That's not the name of the song. It's Spirit of Radio. So there you go. Sunny and 44 here in Artesia, New Mexico. Our humidity is at 41%. The dew point is 22 degrees. We've got very calm winds out of the north. Our barometric pressure is 30.18, and it is inching upwards. Our air quality is 28, so we have good air quality this morning. Our high temperature is 72 yesterday. The overnight low was 33. 1 year ago, we had a high of 29 and a low of 23. Minimum 4-inch soil temps are between 60 and 63 degrees. Around the region, we've got 48 in Carlsbad, 46 in Roswell, 52 in Hobbs, America. Around the state of New Mexico, sunny and 44 in Albuquerque, 40 in Santa Fe, 36 in Cloudcroft and Ruidoso, 49 in Las Cruces, 34 in Farmington, 28 in Red River, 47 in Clovis, and if we peer across the state line into the free state of Texas, Lubbock, Texas, checking in with sunshine and 55 degrees. Again, here in Artesia, sunny and 44 degrees on the great outdoors. So we are happy with all of that. I mentioned this earlier. Mark Ronchetti has decided he's going to run for governor of the state of New Mexico. He announced his resignation from his TV job again a couple of days ago. Ronchetti's campaign website went live on Wednesday. The campaign also released a video laying out the Republican candidate's vision for the state. In the video, he said, "I love New Mexico, but we deserve much better than what we are getting. I'm running to be your governor because it is time we put our foot in the ground and demand better, or nothing will change." He previously had resigned from his role as meteorologist on KRQE to run for U.S. Senate, and he was defeated by Ben Ray Lujan in the November general election. Ronchetti says he's going to be around the state in the next few weeks to bring his message to voters all over New Mexico. So Mark Ronchetti has thrown his hat in the ring. Be interesting to see when we get the chance to talk to him. Hindsight is always 20/20. You know the phrase. So there's going to be a lot of, well, this is where the governor screwed up on this, and this is where the governor screwed up. Hang on just a second. This is where the governor screwed up on that. So a lot of that is going to be 20/20 hindsight. I think a lot of what we need to find out from these folks is what are we going to do moving forward? What did we learn from what we've done, and what did we learn from that? And hopefully we'll get some good answers from any of the candidates as to what we're going to do moving forward. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back and see what's happening at the Artesia Senior Center. That's coming up next. Tuesday, November 2nd, you have the opportunity to support an Artesia Public School Board who has supported your children and your teachers. In District 2, vote to re-elect Luis Flores. Born and raised in Artesia, Luis graduated from Artesia High School, which led to earning a degree at New Mexico State University. Luis Flores advocates for all kids and has voted for projects that benefit the children, including the Artesia Aquatic Center. Luis Flores has been a member of the Artesia School Board since 2017, including the year this school board received the first ever School Board of the Year award.
On the tough issues facing education today, you can count on me to be on the side of our teachers, our students, and our families. Tuesday, November 2nd, please vote to re-elect Luis Flores, Artesia School Board, District 2.
This announcement paid for by Luis Flores.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Rich Thomason. The number of Americans applying for jobless benefits fell to a pandemic low last week.
In another sign that the job market and economy continue to recover from last year's coronavirus recession, the Labor Department reports jobless claims dropped by 10,000 to 281,000. It's the lowest since mid-March in 2020. In all, 2.2 million people were collecting unemployment checks during the week of October 16, down from 7.7 million a year earlier.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. U.S. economic growth slowed to a 2% annual rate in the third quarter, the weakest quarterly growth since the recovery from the pandemic recession began last year. The Commerce Department reports the nation's gross domestic product, output of goods and services, plunged from the 6% plus annual growth rates of the two previous quarters. With business, I'm Rich Thomason.
If you live in the Artesia Public School District, you have a 5 mil election coming up on Tuesday, November the 2nd. This levy does not raise taxes. It simply continues taxes at the current rate, which have been in effect for more than 35 years. All mill levy dollars are controlled locally by the school district for the benefit of the district's programs and students. Funds raised from this 5 mil levy are used to provide the Artesia Public School District with continued security and safety projects, upgrades of academic, activity, and athletic facilities, increased opportunities for career, technical, and vocational education, and provides for continued upgrading of electrical, plumbing, and air conditioning at all facilities. Funds are used to provide classroom furniture for students and staff and ensure learning environments have excellent air quality and meet thermal comfort standards for all seasons. Remember, this is a continuation of a current tax. This does not raise taxes. If you would like more information or you need to find out your voting location, contact Superintendent John Ross Knoll at the Administration Office. Election Day is Tuesday, November 2nd, and early voting is happening now. This announcement is paid for by the Artesia Public Schools.
Welcome back on Good Morning Artesia, and joining us by way of, what do they call this thing, Carol? A telephone?
That's what we call it, a landline, just so people know the difference over here.
A landline.
Yeah.
So there's an actual copper wire that is coming into the building that is hooked up to a telephone, and that's how you're speaking to us today. Amazing.
Yes. To something that you can't pick up, put in your pocket, and walk out with.
Well, that's great. So, well, I'm glad you're able to chat with us today by way of the phone. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, so let's go ahead and get into the update.
Hey, thank you for having us. But before we get started, and I know I've been listening to it on the radio, but I wanted to make it one more time, this urgent public notice to my seniors, for those that listen this hour. Be sure, and if somebody named Robert Cash or anybody is coming by your house and saying that you're from the county treasurer and they're making deals with you, if you're in doubt, call the county treasurer, come down and see me here at the senior center. I will help you check it out. Please do not get taken advantage by any of these people.
I'll tell you.
We've had a couple of seniors taken advantage of by a so-called electric company to the tune of $1,500.
Oh, no.
So,
no.
When they're in doubt, come by. I'll help you check it out on any of this kind of stuff.
Right, because the county will not send people door to door to do that. The utility companies will not send people door to door to do that. They're not going to ask you to pay for it with gift cards. That's all a lie. And then to come up with the silly name of Robert Cash.
I know it. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, it's almost like you're asking the people to, I'm going to see if I can get away with this. So, and unfortunately, they do. They do take people for their hard-earned money, and it's a sad thing to think that people would prey on other folks like that. So, yeah.
Well, they even call them on the phone. That's this one particular case I was in reference to. They called on the phone and threatened to turn the power off. I mean, had this elaborate story.
Yeah.
And so,
at that point in time, you hang up the phone, you call the utility company, or call Carol, or even call the law enforcement
police,
center.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's willing to help, I believe.
That's right.
You know, and here maybe I can help direct them if they're not sure who to call. Because with the particular individual where he lived, I thought he had one power company. I called them. They're like, no way we did that. Who is it? And they looked it up, and I didn't even have the right power company, but they were instrumental. It was CBE was instrumental in helping me get to the right power company because they themselves wanted that stopped.
Awesome. So very important information, folks. Don't do that. Don't close the door, hang up the phone, and then call Carol, call law enforcement. Do not fall for these scams because it's terrible that they take advantage of people like that.
And like you said, when they're asking payment by gift card, you know that's a scam.
That's right. So very good. Good advice.
Okay, to the good stuff today.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what's happening right now, Gene?
I'm thinking it's painting.
Yes, and they're doing a special project this week.
Okay.
I didn't know about it till after we had printed the calendar, which, sometimes at the spur of the moment they want to do something fun. But if you bring your stuff down, have a canvas, they have the thing to look at. They're going to paint a barn door that's decorated, and it's really cute.
Oh, wow.
I had the privilege of seeing it already.
Okay.
So, come down. I know one person's going to do it with pencils, one person's going to do it with acrylic, and I believe some are going to do it with oil. So you're limited to your own imagination.
Wow, that's great.
Mm-hmm. And then they'll have that open art studio in case you don't get finished that you can stay and work on it this afternoon.
If you leave the barn door open.
Right. If I'm painting it, you better give me about 3 or 4 months because I'm not a painter. I mean, I paint the house, but I can't paint something pretty.
That's right.
So, and then for those that want, we have bridge at 1 o'clock. Swedish weaving, and I forgot, Lucy, if you're listening, I forgot to bring my Swedish weaving today, so I will try to go at lunch and get it.
Okay.
She's been helping me work on this thing for 2 years.
What?
But I want the people out there to know that it doesn't take 2 years. Carol is notorious for starting something and not finishing it.
Oh, no.
So, we'll have Texas Hold'em this afternoon. Guaranteed. Those people love that. And that's a men and women's group. It's not just men. So any of you women that like to play cards or think you would like to try. Mm-hmm. We have one lady that came that did not know how, and they taught her, and she's there every week.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool. It's a nice bunch of people out there, and they're willing to help everybody. They're willing to take your chips, that's for sure.
Of course.
They take mine. But just for those of you, there's no money involved. They play with just chips.
That's right.
4 o'clock, exercise video. Fridays, the Creative Crafters. I went in there this last week after the radio, the following Friday, just to see, and I saw 3 different projects going on at the same time. So, if you're like me and you procrastinate and you have a project that started that you haven't finished, bring it down. We have Fridays and Mondays, both at 9 o'clock, that you can work on that, and you're not limited to that. If nobody's in that room and you want to stay a little longer, you're welcome to stay.
Okay.
Hand and Foot, Fridays at 10 o'clock. We have a full table and a possibly cutthroat table. The full table plays partners. The other 2 have to play individuals, so they call it cutthroat.
Gotcha.
And I just think that's funny calling it that, so I use that verbiage because that's what they taught me.
Yeah.
And then, of course, famous bingo. Fridays at 1:30.
Okay. People love bingo. That's for sure.
Probably one of the few places that you know of that you can come play bingo that there's no cost.
Ah, okay.
I mean, there is a cost. You have to smile and be happy. And then Fridays, 1:30 is sewing. We had a gentleman come in this morning and wanted to know, could he join the sewing group? I said, well, sure.
Yeah.
He said, even if you don't know how to sew? I said, well, sure. He said, will they teach me or will they do it? I said, whatever you can talk them into.
Very good.
Okay, then on to Mondays, and guess what?
It's a new month.
A new month. And I have some new calendars for you.
Okay.
Set on my desk, prepared to bring down to you today.
Excellent.
And just didn't make it. We're a little short-handed here.
That's what I understand.
We have Mondays. We have our creative crafters, like I said, trained dominoes, and like I've told you before, that's 2 tables, and we can start 3 if it grows that much.
Okay.
Sewing at 1:30, and green thumbs at 1 o'clock. I'm telling you, they got some stuff going in there. I don't even know what it is, but it's growing. And they're like, come look. I said, you don't want me to touch it. It will die. I promise you, it will die. You do not want me to do that.
Yeah.
Tuesday, the exercise video again, and then woodworking. Woodworking is in the wood shop, anything you need help with. But we have a guy that's trained, knows how to use the equipment, that go out there. He won't do it for you, but he will help you with anything. And he's really good about if you need extra time setting up to come again.
Gotcha.
Not going to promise that because it all depends on his schedule, but come down, use our woodworking equipment. The line dancing for intermediate at 9:30. Again, bridge for those that want to play at 1 o'clock. This is all Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, ceramics and sewing. Like I said, we have some ceramics that's been donated that they're trying to get painted to give as Christmas gifts to some of the local nursing homes.
Oh, that's great.
Which I think is a really neat thing. So if you want to come down, we have the paint, we have the bisque. You just need to bring your brushes.
Okay.
Exercise video again at 4, and the stained glass is at 6:30 on Tuesday evenings. Remember, you need to go in through the back door. The instructor will be back there. There's a place for you to take your temperature, sign in. Everything as though it was the front, but they enter through the back door because they stay just in that room.
Gotcha.
Wednesday, exercise video, tops, take off pounds sensibly. It's at 9 o'clock. Jewelry classes at 9:30. They're making some pretty cool stuff.
Okay.
Beginning line dance at 9:30. Wood burning at 1. We have 2 individuals that have been coming doing their wood burning. The instructor is out for just a little bit. Hopefully she'll be back soon.
Okay.
1 o'clock bridge, but they help each other in there. That's the blessing about the senior center. Even if the person that's volunteered to help lead the class isn't there, there's always somebody willing to help step in and help.
That's great.
So again, those that want to play bridge, Wednesday, 1 o'clock, train dominoes again at 1 o'clock. It's getting pretty popular. Sewing at 1:30 and exercise at 4. And at 9:30 Wednesday, we have our advisory council meeting.
Okay. That's on the first Wednesday of the month.
That's first Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
So we got a couple of seconds here. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Are these some more football team names?
Some more football teams. Let's see. UPS trucks.
Browns.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Lone Star Residents.
That would be the Houston Texans, maybe, or the Dallas Cowboys?
There you go.
Okay.
Young Male Horses.
The Denver Broncos.
No, Young Male Horses.
Oh, the Indianapolis Colts.
There you go. Good job. Okay, thank you for having me, Gene. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Carol. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're going to break for news.
And the president had nothing to say as he emerged from his meeting with House Democrats, hoping to convince them to get behind his economic agenda That is, big spending on social and climate initiatives. We're told Mr. Biden will have something to say soon before he departs for a global summit in Europe. The president also due to meet with Pope Francis tomorrow at the Vatican, where abortion not expected to figure prominently on the agenda.
The Pope has made clear that the church believes abortion is murder, while Mr. Biden, who is Catholic, supports the right to abortion. A White House spokeswoman says the centerpiece of their meeting will be areas of common agreement, such as poverty, climate, and the pandemic. The visit takes place amid an ongoing debate among U.S. Catholic bishops about whether the president and other politicians should be denied communion because of their abortion stance. Greg Clugston, the White House.
U.S. economic growth slowed in the third quarter, falling to a 2% annual growth rate July through September. Meanwhile, the unemployment picture did brighten a bit last week.
In another sign that the job market and economy continue to recover from last year's coronavirus recession, the Labor Department reports jobless claims dropped by 10,000 to 281,000. It's the lowest since mid-March in 2020. In all, 2.2 million people were collecting unemployment checks during the week of October 16th, down from 7.7 million a year earlier.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. New York City municipal workers who haven't taken at least one shot of the COVID vaccine by Monday will face unpaid suspension. There is concern it will take a lot of firefighters and EMS personnel off the streets. Wall Street, the Dow is up 204 points. NASDAQ ahead 146. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Why are cash-out refinances such a big deal right now? Uncle Ryan tries to teach me something.
I really feel like right now might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I've been doing this for 18 years now, and I've just never seen a market where the rates are so low and values across the country have skyrocketed as much as they have. That combination, I remember one couple in particular, they were looking to do some home improvements at the house, but they were worried about their payments going up. Well, with rates being so low and them building up so much equity in the home over the last few years, we were able to get them the cash out for those home improvements, and their payments actually went down a little bit. Every single situation is different, but it does happen more often than you think. So it definitely does not hurt to call.
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Middle Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Shops, restaurants, and schools closed today in Moscow in a partial lockdown as Russia battles record COVID deaths and infections.
The majority of shops are closed. Unvaccinated elderly are ordered to stay at home, all of their exemptions. Crucially, Moscow is not the hardest hit as far as hospital beds are going. In many Russian regions, this is not so. A couple of Russian regions said they're running very much to 100% capacity now. And in many regions, the authorities are saying that they will look and see whether this week of paid stay away from work will do anything to curb the infections. And there are lots of doubts that it will in such short space.
That's a BBC's Oleg Boldarev. British lawmakers set to grill Facebook and other tech giants today over how they handle online safety as European efforts to regulate social media companies gain momentum. Breaking news and analysis. Townhall.com. Group of GOP senators taking aim at the president's energy policies.
Wyoming Senator John Barrasso says gas prices are up $1 a gallon since President Biden took office.
That's a 7-year high.
Barrasso says that's also true for natural gas used by about half the country.
Those people are going to be paying a lot more to heat their homes this winter. So it's really a double gut punch.
West Virginia Senator Shelley Moore Capito says prices are even higher in her state.
The White House says they're working on it. Yeah, they better be working on it.
Republicans held a press conference on Wednesday as President Biden headed for the UN Climate Summit in Glasgow, Scotland. Bob Agnew reporting.
Utility crews working to restore power to hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses in New England after a nor'easter battered the coast with hurricane-force wind gusts. Authorities say more than 300,000 utility customers are in the dark in Massachusetts. Power restoration could take days in some of the hardest hit areas. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Today's KSVIPs, Eunice and Kim. We're getting ready to party all weekend because it's Halloween and birthdays for Eunice and Kim. Eunice is Lana's mom. Kim is a teacher in the Roswell schools and married to Mike Winters. Eunice and Kim will each receive a flower from Lovebud Floral. Happy birthday to our Pecos Valley Broadcasting Halloween birthdays on Sunday, October 31st. Eunice and Kim.
Just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters. But so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really white and nerdy. My class there at MIT. Got skills, I'm a champion at D&D.
I'm having trouble staying awake, and it's not you, Candace.
Thanks. Thank you for the clarification, because we don't want everyone just to think, oh, Candace, she talks and it's like killing paint off the walls. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what it is. The last few days we've just been crazy. I think Tuesday. I think I'm trying to catch up from Tuesday.
Well, and the weather is changing. And
That's
that
true.
kind of has a lot to do, like, people don't realize it affects your mood, or if you're really sensitive, like, I can tell if the storm's coming or whatever with my allergies.
Yeah.
Like, it just totally affects how I feel. So
No, that's true. It does affect people, and you don't often think about it or don't realize what it is. Of course, for the last 2 years, we've been saying, oh, COVID.
Right. So
But
we don't
this
know
is-
how to feel about anything.
Yeah, this is not COVID, but Tuesday was kind of a busy day because we had boys and girls soccer.
Mm-hmm.
We had Artesia volleyball, Goddard volleyball. We had Roswell soccer.
You had all the games? Okay.
And then NMMI had a volleyball.
Oh, wow.
High school did. So I wasn't at all of the events, but I'm
Right.
kind of like keeping an eye on coordinating everything. And so Tuesday was very, very busy.
That sounds like a super busy day.
Yeah. Now, last night, Wednesday, there's not a lot of sporting events. There was a Bronco volleyball game last night, so
Okay.
we had that up on the big screen and watched that for a little while. I went ahead, and I don't know if I've made a mistake yet or not, but I went ahead and updated my Mac to Monterey.
Oh.
That's the new iOS, Monterey.
Fancy.
Yeah, and what's funny is when I got this phone, this is Lana's old phone. I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max now, so that's what I've upgraded to. This
Okay.
is a 2-year-old phone. She got the new iPhone 13
Oh,
Pro Max.
yes.
But the wallpaper that comes with when this phone came out, which I went to, is very, very similar colors and design to the wallpaper from Monterey,
Okay.
which I thought was kind of interesting because it almost looks like so retro from like 2 years ago.
Right. Yes. No. Which is funny because I have the phone in between your phone and her phone now.
Okay, you have the 12.
I have the 12. And I got that, and my husband's like, with the 13, he's like, it's so similar to the 12. He's like, just wait until the 14 comes out, and then you should probably get that. But yeah, so I have the one. So we have an 11, 12, and 13 in the building.
Yeah. Oh, so you got it all.
And the Pro Max, yes.
Well,
And mine
the
is,
cameras, the people that are into that stuff, now the comparisons are coming out because Google has released the Pixel 6.
Right.
So now, if you go to the YouTubers, there's
They're
camera
testing out the
comparisons between the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the Google 6 Plus and the Samsung S21 Ultra.
Okay.
And those are the flagship
Yes.
phones. And the S21 Ultra and the 13 Pro Max are going to set you back $1,200, $1,300,
Yes.
$1,400. The Google Pixel 6 is going to set you back $800 to $900. So it's $300-$400 less. And on the camera comparison, all three camera systems, it's really hard to pick one that's better than the other. I mean, they all have a little bit something that they do a little bit better than the other
Right.
two, but none of them are like, why? That's the Google picture because it's so much better than the iPhone and the Samsung phone. They all, in other words, they all take fantastic
Take photos.
pictures.
Yes.
iPhone may be a little better with the video, Samsung a little better with the video than the Google, but the Google's like
Right.
$300-$400 less.
Yes,
So
like
do
if
you-
you're like really wanting, like, what is it that you're wanting? Is it you want the iPhone name, or you know what I mean? Because then I feel like some of the time what you're paying for is the brand, not necessarily the phone.
Not necessarily the phone. But anyway, that's a diversion.
It is a diversion. Well, I have an asthma attack, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, you doing okay? All right, very good. So but then again, that's for the people that get the latest and greatest, and then there's us, and I've got the 2-year-old phone, you've got the 1-year-old phone, and I'm perfectly happy with this phone.
No, it works perfectly fine. Yeah,
it works great. Well, let's talk about the Ocotillo and see what's happening. We're getting to the end of October.
Yeah, so we have Saturday Trick or Treat Artesia, so we will be out front. Next to us will be Grammy's house, which will be great.
Okay,
and we'll be handing out candy. We've got 2 coffins at the theater that we'll be pulling out. And Lindsay has a skeleton that she keeps out front of her house all year named Bernie, and she dresses him up. So Bernie will be making an appearance as well. So
why am I not surprised?
So anyway, so be sure to swing around and see us, just to see what the 2 of us come up with, because we'll be decorating tomorrow and Saturday. Because it'll mostly just be me at the table on Saturday, so we're getting that done ahead of time, so I'm not party of one. And if you didn't sign up, I do still think you have time. Paint With Us's Hocus Pocus painting. The last one is this evening for this month.
I've seen, I guess that's from a movie, right?
Yes, Hocus Pocus.
It was a movie. I went to a coffee shop this week, and they had done the windows up and stuff, and as I was pulling up to the drive-thru, they had the Hocus Pocus thing on the window at the drive-thru.
Yes.
And I thought, well, that must be a thing this year.
It is a big thing. And they're working on actually attempting, I'm not sure if it's 100% or not. Someone can correct me. But they're going to be making a Hocus Pocus 2, which makes me really excited from my, teenage girl heart back watching Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, all those. It's one of those shows that came up on one of those channels. So it's not like it came out. It did come out in theaters and everything like that, but I do believe because it came out the same year as Nightmare Before Christmas, and so they actually, so Hocus Pocus actually was released in the summer, so it wouldn't compete with Nightmare.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. Yeah. Well, that was nice of them to do that.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a really good movie. I enjoy it. So,
but the painting class is a Hocus Pocus theme.
Yeah, with Paint With Us, and that's Kelly Speckart. And her last one is this evening.
Okay.
So if you haven't gone to her website to sign up, I think it would be a great idea because it's a lot of fun. And we figured out how to show Hocus Pocus on the TV in the lobby.
Okay.
So the movie will also be happening.
Oh, good.
So that's fun. And then that ends our month, interestingly enough. And we don't have a lot going on in November other than our pop-up art contest. And those entries are actually due before, I think, 10 a.m. on November 1 because she's going to send out the actual theme, the prompt, by noon to everybody who signed up.
But this is not like a photography pop-up.
It's all media. It can be photography, sculpting, painting, whatever kind of art, digital art, whatever you do applies to this contest.
Okay.
And it's $5 an entry. And you can have up to 5 entries. And so, like I said, you will have from the first, once you've gotten the prompt, the theme, all the way into the 12th to create and turn it in.
Okay.
So everyone does it at the same time. It has to be something that you just created, not anything that you already have existing.
Gotcha. And then when you say turn it in, is that even...
You bring it to the theater and we display it, and it'll be on display for the month.
Okay.
And you get to have the people's choice. It's a people's choice.
Okay.
So we do have best in show and all of the levels, which we are going to supplement prizes like gift cards from around town, different things like that. We've encouraged a lot of the students, so we've sent out to Roswell, Artesia, and Carlsbad school districts, and so some of the art students are going to be involved, and the age range is from 2 to 99. Okay. So if you can do some art, and we understand that if it's a really little one, that they might have some parent involvement, and that's okay.
Okay.
But we're encouraging everyone to just come and have their artwork put in the gallery. I think that's just fun in itself.
But the theme goes out, or the prompt goes out
to everyone.
Monday.
To everyone at the same time.
You've got to get signed up here in the next day or two. So, okay.
Yeah, so that's what we've got going on mostly.
Now, can you
for
sign up
November.
on the website?
You have to call in or go to the Facebook page.
Gotcha.
So the website is up, which we're very excited.
Right.
Tomorrow, I will actually be meeting with our web developer to set up how we put in events and stuff like that. So all of that will go up on Friday. We'll be working on that system. But there is stuff just in general, if you want to get used to the website and where to look for things, that is where you can go. And as soon as that is ready, all of our links, everything like that will be, you can hit it through the website.
But for the pop-up contest, that you have to go.
Yeah, so call us, email us, stop by on Friday and come and see us, and we'll get you squared away.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so that ends, and that's mostly just what we have going on in November. Then we hit December, and I have to switch pages in my planner. In December, of course, on Thursday the 2nd is Light Up Artesia, and then hopefully the following Friday we'll have Sons of the Pioneers.
Okay.
And then that next week, the 7th, which is a Tuesday, and the 11th, which is a Saturday, we are bringing back the Gingerbread House Workshop.
Okay.
So we build the gingerbread houses, you come and decorate them.
Okay. And then where do they go when they're done being decorated?
They take them home.
Okay.
So yeah, so we'll be at the Ocotillo this year. So you guys come, we'll have all the stuff set up. We're going to get an army of volunteers to put all of them gingerbread houses together, so it's not just me and Lindsay.
Because you told us last week a couple hundred, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get quite a
lot
few.
of gingerbread.
Yeah,
Okay.
So there's going to be more than enough for people to come.
Yeah. Maybe they could do more than one.
They can, yeah. So we're running them right now. We're looking at like $30 a gingerbread house or 2 for $50.
Okay.
So giving you a little bit of a discount on those. And so you buy your gingerbread house. You can bring your own candy, but we're going to make sure we have plenty of candy to decorate your gingerbread house with.
Okay.
Or if you have like a theme that you're going through, like in the past, we always did the gingerbread houses with my in-laws. And before me, they had already been doing it for years. And when my husband went into the Air Force, they made a gingerbread house and they got the plane and everything like that and made it all Air Force themed. So you can get as creative as you want to with these gingerbread houses.
Hopefully it wasn't a plane crashing into the gingerbread house.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Well,
but no, it was not.
No, I wouldn't want to. That would be like bad luck thing.
Well, it might be like if you're thinking like, the plane slipped through a hole in reality and ended up in gingerbread land, and then they might crash into the gingerbread man's house, and then he's all like disgruntled, something. Use your imagination.
Well, that's neat that they did that, though.
Yeah, so you can get super creative with the gingerbread houses. We think it's a lot of fun just to come and do. And then on the 18th, we'll be having a Harry Potter movie event with the Aquatic Center, and we are working on that. It will mostly be through them for payment, but we'll have information and all that on how you can go about joining in on the Harry Potter Winter Fun on our website and their website. So we're working on getting that done, and that's also the day after the last day of school. So
for the winter break or those of us that think otherwise, it's the Christmas break.
Yes, yeah. So
they have to say winter break.
Winter break, yes.
Yeah.
Whatever you decide to call it.
Yeah.
If after that day of school. So then kids won't have anything to do. It'll be great. And so then on the Tuesday, following Tuesday the 21st, we usually do our holiday movie.
Okay.
And we have settled on Elf.
Right.
Buddy's sing-along version of the movie.
Oh.
So that is a free community event. So
I didn't know there was a sing-along version.
There is a sing-along. It is hysterical. So pretty much what you'll do is just like with the Polar Express, we'll have it set up where people can sign up because we only have so many seats. And you can come in. We'll have the popcorn and water for you guys. And then we'll be selling cocoa bombs as a fundraiser.
Okay.
So all of that will be ready on the 21st. And then, of course, then it's like Christmas time. So we'll be closed from the 23rd to the 28th.
Okay.
And then again for New Year's. But that's what we've got going on.
Well, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
After everything you had leading up, it's probably nice to have a few weeks off in November.
Oh my goodness, October was the busiest that we had been in a long time.
That's right. Well, I know the Art in the Park was probably the biggest.
Yes.
Are you still getting comments and feedback on
Yeah,
Art in the
so
Park?
the last I checked, we had 100 survey responses, and overall, people were really pleased. So that was really good. And they gave us some really good constructive criticism on what we can do better next year, especially working with the city on, like, the holes. And I do agree, because I thought that myself. So we will definitely be working on making the event safer and a lot better for next year. But it seemed like everyone really enjoyed it, so that was
and you've
positive.
got plenty of room to grow.
Yes. That's the idea. So the idea is to give us enough space that we can grow it really into not just art and craft vendors, but like an art festival that attracts people from the surrounding areas, as well as including more of our students. So I did stop and talk to Eugene Irby, Mr. Irby from the high school, the theater program, and was like, if you guys would like next year, you have a competition piece or something, you guys could come out and perform it at Art in the Park. And he had told me if he had known for this year, they would have planned. But for next year, now for next year, he can plan to have them come out. And that kind of, they're an art program. So it showcases that we do a lot more art things in Artesia or the surrounding area, even inviting other programs to come out and demonstrate, have more live demonstrations of art or artists doing their work. Just different things like that to really just make it a huge special event that happens in Artesia.
No, that sounds like a lot of fun. That because they could do that. You've already got the band cakewalk that's going on, and then maybe the choir kids could sing carols
or something. Just the
in
really
October.
It's there's endless possibilities of the things that we could do. For instance, like we had Mike Campos out, and he did that interactive chalk art where you could take a picture and it looked like you were looking down into a koi pond, which was really cool. And so we want to include more of that sort of stuff into the actual event that really just showcases artists, because that's what we're about as the Arts Council, is the performance arts, visual arts, all of that is something that's really important to what we do.
Now, what's been the reaction to the artwork on the back of the Ocotillo building?
That has been so great.
The mural.
Yes, I still see people slow down as they come down Roselawn to like gawk at it and then move on, and the amount of community support we had was really great. Even the kids from the schools got to come in and help paint a piece of it, so now that's part of their history. And just for me personally, it gives me a really good reason to say, hey, we should take some of that color from the outside and bring it on the inside of the building. So we've been going through a whole process of rebuilding and rebranding ourselves, and those sunflowers are a great representation of all the stuff that we've been working towards since we completely shut down back in November. And even me just going to work every day, it makes me, I'm like, oh, look, sunflowers. It's just so different than the reddish brown wall that we had. It just brings a whole different sort of vibrancy, especially to that area of town.
That's right. And for those that don't know, there's I think this is the Arts and Culture District is doing this.
Yes.
But there's a mural project. And if you see the mural on the side of the old Bryan Printers building, when you come out of La Fonda, that's one of the murals. If you go behind
what used to be Cowgirl's Closet.
Yes, on the alley side of that building across from Kith and Kin, that's a student.
That was the students,
project. And now on the back of the Ocotillo
was the community mural project.
The sunflowers, and the next one they're going to be working on is the like the postcard. Welcome.
Yes, and I think they actually, she said that was either starting or has started.
Okay,
they were working on that.
Well, they couldn't start yesterday or the day before; it was too windy.
Oh yeah. Well,
today'd be a perfect
so
day
funny
to get
story about the wind. It was so windy that they had borrowed one of our pole arms to have the paint brush on top so that they could go up and down, and the wind took it and snapped it in half. And she was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, well, I'm just glad everybody's okay. But that's how strong the wind gets. So yeah, it definitely plays a big role on how you can get a mural done.
It was so windy, the sunflowers were bent over on the back of the Ocotillo.
Mm-hmm. You can see them sway really drastically when the wind picks up.
That's crazy. Well, good. Well, is there anything folks can help out with? Anything that you guys need?
Right
or would
now, I think definitely be keeping your eye out at artesiaartscouncil.com, especially keeping an eye out for what we have coming up. We are hoping that by the end of December, we'll have our full winter-spring 2022, the end of our season, fully out and published so that people can get the information they need, flyers, all of that stuff to be looking forward to. And we're just real excited to possibly that will be the start of our more normal season.
Good.
As long as nothing changes over Christmas.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed.
They say we're at a plateau.
Yes.
A high plateau, but we're at a plateau. And
so hopefully go plateau, down.
Well, that's usually what happens.
Yes.
You get to the edge, and then you start to come back down again. So let's hope that that happens here, because it's been a crazy year and a half, almost 2 years now, that folks have been having to deal with
this.
And it's been all over the spectrum that people have had to deal with, and performance art and theaters and places like that have just really been negatively affected by it. So.
Hugely negatively affected. So also I would encourage you guys to look for it. I missed one date.
Oh, okay.
November 30th is Giving Tuesday.
Now,
if you are familiar with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it's all about consumption.
Okay.
Well, the Tuesday after those 2 days is Giving Tuesday.
Right.
And now it's a global thing. There's multiple countries that participate, and the communities in those countries have their own Giving Tuesdays, and it's to give back to your community, give back to your favorite organizations. So not only the Arts Council, but be looking out to see if any other organizations that you support are doing a Giving Tuesday campaign, and just really focus on like giving back to those organizations, especially if there are any others that happen in Artesia too.
Okay. Well, I'll be working on my list for things that I want people to give me. So I don't think that's what that means.
No, that's not. No, that's what Cyber Monday and Black Friday are for.
Oh, okay. I got it down. No, I thought giving to
do your
Gene
wish list,
Tuesday.
Amazon wish list for Gene, and we'll put it out on the Facebook page.
Well, I tell you, that's that time is coming up, and then I think they're freaking everybody out with everything being stuck off the coast of California and New York, and I mean, it's really
well. And then they were saying with the
right
big factories in China that those areas are having where they're having scheduled power outages for like an hour to 3 hours, depending on the time. So that's halting production. So we get a lot of stuff from China. So that's also going to
Do they get their stuff from the wind over there? Is that why they're having all these power outages? I don't know. I thought they had coal.
Well, I don't know why they're doing schedule. I just know that that's something that's happening.
It's like, what else?
Yeah,
you know?
what else could happen?
Now what?
Now what else? So now we have that coming up. So be prepared if just in case you're like, I ordered this fun thing, but it has to come from China.
Well,
be
I
wary.
tell you, concert tickets to events coming up at the Ocotillo, they're not sitting on a ship over there outside of Long Beach, California. You can get a concert event that's coming up, and you can buy those tickets. And
yeah, there's no waiting on
That's
those.
right.
Once those go up, then they are ready to go.
they're ready to go. So that's a good deal. Well, good. Well, anything else, Candace?
No, just hopefully everyone has a great end to their week.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Got Football Friday tomorrow, and then all the other stuff that goes with it. So
yes.
Well, thank you. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
All right, we're going to take a break, get the Zoom room opened up, see what Aaron's got for us. We'll be back.
The Artesia Special Hospital District will hold a special election on November 2nd, 2021. Voters will decide whether to continue the current mill levy that funds operating expenses for the district. The hospital district is asking to continue the mill levy at its current level, $2.70 per $1,000 of assessed taxable property value. The mill levy allows Artesia General Hospital to fund services and improvements that might not otherwise be possible. A yes vote is tax neutral and is not expected to increase the burden on taxpayers. It continues a tax already in place. Approval of the mill levy will allow the Artesia Special Hospital District to continue to expand and improve to meet the healthcare needs of this community. Citizens can vote at the Eddy County Clerk's Sub-Office located at 602 South First Street, Faith Baptist Church at 401 South 20th, the Trinity Temple Church at 16th and Hermosa Drive, or CVE at 1403 North 13th Street, on November 2nd. Absentee voting can be done in person at the Eddy County Clerk's sub-office from October 5th until October 15th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Early voting can be done at the Eddy County Clerk's sub-office from October 16th until October 30th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
It's the big October savings sale at Fens Country Market in Artesia. Food Club cake mixes, assorted, 88 cents each. Tender crust white sandwich bread, 88 cents a loaf. Kraft's mayonnaise, 30 ounces, $2.98 each. Food Club tomato sauce, 8-ounce can, 29 cents each. And Blue Ribbon Classics ice cream, assorted, 4-quart pail, $5.88 each at Fens Country Market in Artesia. And right now, Pepsi all flavors, 2-liter bottles, 5 for $5 at Fens Country Market in Artesia.
Have you been dealing with stress or anxiety lately? Don't let that stop you from getting the dental work done that you know needs to happen. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and every day we help people just like you have a relaxing and pain-free experience with IV sedation. Just imagine a dental experience where you don't remember the needles or the drills. If that's what you're looking for, we can help. Let us ease your stress and create the best dental experience ever.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main, or call 622-4455.
To the brave men and women who serve and protect our country, Superior Express Car Wash in Artesia salutes you. On Veterans Day, Thursday, November 11th, owners Robert and Patty Duncan will give all United States veterans a free Supreme Car Wash, along with a $15 voucher for a meal at La Fonda Restaurant. Happy Veterans Day from Superior Express, Artesia's premier source for clean rides and streak-free shines. Located on North 26th in front of Walmart. God bless our veterans and God bless America.
In the school board election for District 1 on Tuesday in Artesia, you have the opportunity to return to the school board someone who has devoted his entire life to the children of Artesia. Jeffrey David Conklin. From quarterback club to cooking just about every hamburger ever served at a school fundraiser, David Conklin has been there for your children. As a member of the Artesia School Board, David has continued serving by supporting the school board's ongoing efforts to hire and support the best teachers and provide the best possible learning environment for our children. David supports the efforts of the school board to have more local control over our schools. Be sure and watch David's interview on KSVPTV.com. Tuesday, November 2nd, please vote to return a dedicated servant of your children to the school board. Vote to re-elect David Conklin, Artesia Public School Board District 1. This ad paid for by Jeffrey David Conklin. Yeah, I guess you have to put your real name on the ballot.
That's probably important.
Yeah, well, that's why I could never run for office.
Right.
Because
nobody would know who you are. Huh?
Nobody would know who I was based on that. Did you see where Ron Ketty's back in for governor?
I did. I heard that last week that that was probably going to happen. So.
And it did. Oh, you've got, looks like a jib jab video there.
Yeah.
There's Hunter and Joe and
Nancy's in there somewhere.
Yeah. That's not Fauci, is it? Oh, Nancy's the vampire.
I'm not sure. I think that might be. I can't remember who the pumpkin is.
They're pretty crazy. It's really disgusting what you have up there, but it is. It's very funny. Let's see. So the Chinese do not use wind-generated power. They make and sell the windmills to unknowing Americans, thinking they're doing something positive. Because Candace and I were talking about the supply chain shortage, and now she read where there might have power outages in China, and I thought, well, do they have wind power over there too?
Oh, I've heard two different things on that. That one, they're trying to shut down a lot of the factory work to get the air clean for the Winter Olympics, and then also that as they're having COVID outbreaks now that it's made its way back to China. They're shutting down factories as they have outbreaks to keep them from getting too out of hand, I guess.
Gotcha. There's a Winter Olympics?
That's what I've heard. I haven't verified that by checking, but yeah, I think so. I think because the regular Olympics got delayed. Maybe.
Yes.
Might be another year. I don't know.
The regular Olympics were delayed a year. They just held them this
Winter
year.
Olympics would be next year.
Would be in 2022, yeah. So the Winter Olympics.
That wouldn't make any sense for them shutting down the factories for that.
Well, they do have dirty air in a lot of places over there. I mean, they've been wearing masks for a long time, and then not necessarily because of COVID.
yeah, and I've heard people that have gone there have said that the air quality is just horrible.
Yeah. That's too bad. I watched a critical drinker clip last night on the Squid Game.
Oh, uh-huh.
And based on what I saw, I've not seen it. It's real popular on Netflix right now.
Yes, I've heard of it. I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, and so when I'm watching the critical drinker and his review of the series, it looks an awful lot to me like a South Korean version of the Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah.
Not in a dystopian future of 13 districts, but very the scenario and how you get involved in the Squid Games, and then how terrible they are and what happens and all that. The critical drinker liked it, not necessarily because of the subject matter, but because of the characters and the character development. He said it's not like the West, where all women are just instantaneously powerful and strong and all knowledgeable and are dominant over all men, like we make the women characters in movies and TV shows today in the West. The men are... Anyway, it was an interesting review, but I'm looking at some of the video clips that he picked and what the premise of the show is, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch that, but it sounds like it's very popular right now. A lot of people are...
Yeah, I think there was one of the episodes or whatever was like the highest rated in anything.
Yeah. So, but I like the critical drinker. I think he's kind of funny. He's R-rated, so don't gather the kids around the TV to watch the critical drinker's review of the movie Dune. But I like his perspective of the movie industry and the TV industry and all that. So, but and I think some schools somewhere are saying no, you can't come to school in costume, dressed like characters or things from the Squid Game, because that's a little too much and a little intense. And if I'm watching the video clips, I think that's the biggest difference between now and then, in terms of what kids are exposed to. Is then you had to go to the movie theater to see this type of content. You had to buy the DVD or rent the DVD and bring it into your home to see this kind of content. Not that it wasn't available or people couldn't watch it, but it wasn't just there.
Yes.
Now it's just there. And you wonder what impact this is going to have on society and kids' development and stuff like that as we move forward.
True.
Again, I'm not trying to be a prude and say that shouldn't be there. It wasn't just there before. Now it's just there. It's everyone can watch it anytime on anything, anywhere.
Yeah, and then load it up with another one right after that.
Yep. Yeah. So, anyway, should we get into we probably got to get into some Halloween stuff here.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I still have some of my corny jokes.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, no, that's not it. It's a Governor Michelle Huon Grisham story. That's a joke in and of itself, but that's not what we're wanting to do. What did Jerry Garcia put out on his porch for Halloween?
Jerry Garcia put on his porch for Halloween.
I guess this is a Grateful Dead joke.
I don't know.
The answer here is Peggy O'Lantern.
Okay.
It's not.
I guess you got to know the Grateful Dead for that one.
Yeah. What's orange and faster than a speeding train?
Orange and faster than a speeding train. Super Pumpkin?
Yes, that's it.
Oh, all right.
Let's see. Did you tell this one? Why was the jack-o'-lantern afraid to cross the road?
Yes.
Okay. Had no guts.
Or that was a skeleton, I think. Had no guts.
Had no guts. Okay. What does the pumpkin pie say after a big meal?
I don't know.
That was filling. and the last one for today that I have. What veggie does a pumpkin become when an elephant steps on it?
Squash.
Squash. There you go. Oh, the last one. They were thinking about adding, you remember that group from England that was real popular years ago with the different singers? What English pop singer is most popular in October? They were the Blank Girls.
Pumpkin Spice Girls?
Pumpkin Spice. There you go. The most popular singer in October in England is Pumpkin Spice. So,
all right.
I'm not going to tell the pumpkin joke that Winters told me the other day because that's disgusting. But
I heard on the news today that Elizabeth Warren was going to be dressing up as a dancing ghost for Halloween.
What?
Yes. It's going to be Pocahontas.
I wondered where you were going with that. It's good to know that if she does dress up as a Native American, she's not truly culturally appropriating anything. So,
I bet she stays far away from that costume.
Yep, she better.
Yeah. What's a vampire's favorite fruit?
A vampire's favorite fruit, whole wheat strawberry Pop-Tarts.
Those have apple in them. It wouldn't work. Oh, a nectarine.
A nectarine. There you go. That's right. That would be correct.
Then I got a Hunter Biden Halloween pickup line for you.
Okay.
You must be the devil because it just got hot in here.
And remember, Joe Biden said during the campaign, he's proud of his kids.
I'm proud of my son.
He's proud of his son.
Billions of dollars, even though there's plenty of troubles.
You know, if anyway, don't get me started. I'm going to stop. All right, shall we do that one with the powdered sugar? You know, the sad thing, it just reminds me of beignets and coffee. Because they were covered in powdered sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Not that much, but...
yeah, that would be a little overkill.
You know what I haven't had in a while? I haven't had... You know, when I first moved out here and they had sopapillas.
Oh, yes.
And I said, well, you know, that's just a big beignet. Can you bring me some coffee? So, all right. Well, let's get into the market, see how they're doing.
All right. This is Aaron Irving with LPL Financial, member of FINRA and the SIPC, bringing you your mid-morning stock market report for Thursday, October the 28th. Stocks climbed today as strong earnings from major companies bolstered the equity markets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.6%, while the S&P 500 added 0.8%. The tech-heavy NASDAQ composite jumped more than 1% to hit a new intraday record high. Ford was a standout in early trading as its shares jumped more than 8% on blockbuster earnings while also raising guidance. The automaker said increased availability of semiconductors during the quarter allowed it to ramp up production. MasterCard, Merck, and Caterpillar also moved higher following earnings beats. Shares of Apple and Amazon, which report after the bell today, were moving higher to boost the NASDAQ. Shares of Tesla rose 3%, continuing a strong stretch after last week's earnings beat. Nearly 40% of the S&P 500 companies that have reported earnings, and more than 80% of them have beat Wall Street expectations, according to CNBC calculations. The move for stocks came despite disappointing economic reports today. GDP growth for the third quarter came in at 2.0%, which was below the 2.8% expected. This reading marks a slowdown from the 6.7% growth from the second quarter. However, the third quarter report captured much of the Delta wave of COVID-19 that rolled through the U.S., but has since receded, leading many to believe that it was a short-term slowdown. On a positive note for the economy, weekly initial jobless claims came in at 281,000. Economists surveyed by Dow Jones were expecting 289,000 claims. Currently, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 195 points to 35,686. The S&P 500 is 40 points higher at 4,592. And the NASDAQ Composite is up 183 points to 15,419. West Texas Intermediate Crude is down 72 cents a barrel to $81.94. Stocks of local interest, Holly Frontier Corporation is down 28 cents a share to $33.90. Walmart is $1.24 higher at $148.78 a share. Xcel Energy is up 88 cents a share to $64.26. And Apple is up $4.27 to $153.12 a share. This is Aaron Irving with Oakley & Irving Wealth Management, serving business owners and energy industry professionals in the Pecos Valley and beyond. You can find us at oiwealth.com, or at our offices in Artesia and Carlsbad. You can call us at 575-887-7075. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA, and the SIPC.
Hey, I have a note here from Clay and Buck, and on their show today at 2:05 Eastern, which would be 12:05 our time. They're going to have Molly Hemingway on the show with them, senior editor of the Federalist too, and author of the book Rigged: How the Media, Big Tech, and the Democrats Seized Our Elections. So Molly Hemingway on the Clay and Buck show today, 12:05 our time. So there you go. Good. All right, Aaron, have a wonderful day today.
All right, you do the same.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's head over to the Artesia Historical Museum and Art Center, and Michael Redmond joins us. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Hope things are going well at the museum today.
Things are indeed going well, and I know I mentioned that we're doing a 5-part series, but I did see something interesting that I just felt I absolutely had to share.
Sure.
It's going back to 1950. It was a sort of ribbon-cutting ceremony for new business.
In 1950?
Often when those happen, there's local politicians, famous people, they cut a ribbon, they announce the opening of a new business. But this one is a little different. It was July 5th, 1950, the grand opening of Payne Packing Company.
Oh.
The meat packing company just north of town.
Yeah, which is still there. So they had their ribbon cutting and opening this week in 1950. Is that what you said?
No, July 5th.
July. Okay. Well, that's so that would make them 71 years in business.
But what's interesting is it's a little unconventional ribbon cutting, because it was the mayor and a few other people. The mayor, Orrin C. Roberts. But what's interesting is that instead of cutting a ribbon, they opened the business by having the mayor do a ceremonial slaughter of the first calf.
Well, there you go.
And it was a calf owned by City Councilor H.D. Dunn.
So H.D. Dunn brought the calf. It was at the meat packing company, and the mayor slaughtered the first calf. I'll ask Mayor Miller if he would like to do something like that at a grand opening in the future.
It's a little unconventional, but it sounds like something that's, what happened in Artesia.
That's right.
It's a very Artesian sort of event.
That's right. And then they had hamburgers. So, getting back to our topic for this period of time, we started last week, and you were sharing with us a time when war came to New Mexico as opposed to New Mexicans going off to war. And you talked about the Texans' invasion of New Mexico. I had lunch with a Texan yesterday and brought that up. But anyway, I don't think he's descendant of anybody that would have been in that war, but that would have been interesting. Where do you want to take us next? Where is another time that war came to New Mexico?
Next time that war came to New Mexico was just 2 years after the incident mentioned last week, 1843.
Okay.
And again, it was Texans, although it was a little different. Basically, after the Santa Fe expedition in 1842, there were mutual raiding across the border between Texas and Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go too well for Texas. Quite a few of them died.
Right.
And with the Muir expedition, the Muir raid, quite a few were actually executed because they tried to escape from prisoner of war camps. So in 1843, Texas decided on a different strategy. It was revenge, but it was also a military strategy to significantly hurt Mexico while hoping to convince New Mexicans that they'd be safer in Texas as a part of Texas.
Okay.
So it was unconventional. It would be considered nowadays as like guerrilla warfare or partisan warfare, and something that was very shocking back then. They issued commissions to individuals to put together forces, go north to the Santa Fe Trail, and raid the caravans.
Okay.
And it was quite shocking for multiple reasons. The first being that the first person to get a commission, John McDaniel, operated in the Colorado and Kansas areas, where sort of that borderland. He captured a small wagon train of just 2 wagons. They killed the person in charge of the wagon train, Antonio Chavez, took his money, and then fled back to Texas. But some of them were caught, brought to the United States, tried for murder, and I think they were hanged for the crime.
Mm-hmm.
And Texas immediately disavowed any knowledge of it, saying that they issued the commission, but the commissions were, they didn't know that these people were going to do that, so they washed their hands of it. The second one actually came into New Mexico proper, not the borderland between the United States and Mexico, but the Charles Warfield expedition, more of a raid. It was 24 people who went north from Texas, went into New Mexico, arrived 6 miles outside of the town of Mora, up in Mora County over by Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And they encountered a camp of soldiers. I've read different accounts. Some said that they were local militia. Others said that they were professional soldiers. I'm inclined to believe that they were local militia because Warfield and his group attacked the camp, and the soldiers stood and fought for a short time, but then fled.
Okay.
Which, considering that was just 24 people from Texas, I'm kind of inclined to think that professional soldiers would have stood and fought for a lot longer. But four New Mexicans were killed, and I think I read 18, from one account said 18 were captured, along with all of the horses and mules that were at the camp.
Right.
But afterwards, the Texans themselves suffered an overnight raid, which caused them to lose all of their horses and mules, including the ones that were captured. So they let their prisoners go, and then just walked back to the Santa Fe Trail.
And this all happened in the same day or two, the same period of time. They attacked the camp, and then they get attacked that night or the next night.
It was fairly quickly. I think. Let's see if I have my notes with me. See when it happened. But it was all in spring of 1843.
Okay.
And it was, I believe, started in March, and the actions happened in April.
This particular excursion. So what would have been their goal, capturing areas around Mora at that time?
Well, their goal was to disrupt trade between the United States and Mexico, and to show the people living in New Mexico that they have instability with the Mexican government and with Governor Armijo.
Mm-hmm.
That Governor Armijo can't protect them. He's a tyrant. They should, revolt and join Texas.
Right.
But the problem is of course, is that they attacked Mora. Mora is it's technically still a village. It's a tiny community where the people absolutely loved the Santa Fe Trail and trade that came with it.
Right. And the Santa Fe Trail did it run south into Old Mexico and then east into the United States, or what was connected by the Santa Fe Trail?
It connected Independence, Missouri, across Kansas into Colorado, although there was a branch that went from Kansas south into Oklahoma. But both branches eventually met up in New Mexico, or by where Fort Union is. Went south past Mora, past Las Vegas, past Pecos, into Santa Fe.
Okay.
And then there was a different different wagon train trail that would go from Santa Fe to down into Mexico.
And so New Mexico at the time, still a territory, correct?
It was still a part of Mexico.
It was still part of Mexico, so it was heavily influenced by and a part of Mexico. And Mexico was having their issues with the Texans at that time, and so that may have been motivating factor, as you said, for the Texans to try to come in and gain more control over New Mexico land.
Yes. However, the both incidences were kind of forgotten in the newspapers, because very shortly afterwards there was a third incident involving Texans raiding the Santa Fe Trail.
Okay.
It was an expedition under Jacob Snively. He had around 180 people. All three of these expeditions, they were officers commissioned by the Republic of Texas, but none of them wore uniforms. And this third expedition, 180 of them, went north to the Santa Fe Trail, skipped New Mexico, but they set up waiting for a very large wagon train that they knew was heading towards New Mexico, that they knew was full of gold that was going to be used for the New Mexican government, or so they thought. So they were waiting on the trail. The United States found out about both Warfield raiding Mora and McDaniel attacking wagon trains and murdering a very famous merchant. So they sent out a force of dragoons, reinforced with cannons.
Okay.
And they met the Snively expedition. And when the dragoons ran into Jacob Snively, at first they bickered over whether or not they were in Texas or Mexico or the United States. But they convinced Jacob Snively that it was in fact the United States when they brought out topographical engineers of maps, and then they formed into a skirmish line, surrounded them, and pointed cannons at them and told them to surrender.
And did they?
They did, and they surrendered. Part of the surrender was they had to give up all but 10 of their muskets, and they were offered a chance to be escorted back to Missouri, where they could either stay in the United States or go back to Texas via riverboats, but they were forced to leave the trail.
Right.
50 of them did go back to Missouri. The rest of them split up into two rival groups that eventually just all fell apart, and they went back into Texas.
But these folks didn't get sent down to prison in Mexico like the 1841 group had.
No, they did run into a force of Mexican soldiers who were guarding the trail, but they fought a brief skirmish. The Snively group fought a brief skirmish, and the Mexican army retreated back a short distance. And then the Dragoons showed up, and they had to leave. But they did not go back to. They did not go south to Mexico City. They did. However, the Snively expedition. It was a very controversial event in the United States history at the time because the Army took away arms from Texans. And it was controversial because the United States was heavily divided between wanting to annex Texas and treat it as part of the United States, and the other part wanted to just let Texas be an independent nation without any sort of a United States involvement, because they knew that Texas would, when it did eventually join the United States, it would be a slave state. So northern politicians and newspaper editors were pleased with the outcome of the Snively expedition. But southern newspaper editorials and southern politicians were quite upset, and it eventually led to the commander of the Dragoon Force, Captain George Cook, being arrested and court-martialed.
Now, he would have been arrested by
by the United States government.
By the United States government. Okay. So he wasn't a Texan that was doing this, or he was doing that, creating the situation with Mexico that the United States did not want to have happen?
No, he was just an Army officer. He was from Virginia.
Okay.
And he was noteworthy as well because when the Civil War started, he stayed loyal to the United States.
Okay. A little different.
Everybody expected him and other Virginians to leave for the Confederacy, but he did not.
Yeah, stayed loyal to the United States. Now, this third expedition that you're talking about, what year did that take place?
1843 in May.
Okay, so this was
a very busy year on Santa Fe Trail.
I was going to say, because you mentioned the other one was also in 1843, so...
And in fact, Charles Warfield, the second expedition, his group, after walking the Santa Fe Trail, linked up with Jacob Snively. So his group was part of the group that eventually surrendered to the Dragoons.
Gotcha, the Dragoons. And so that's a couple of different instances, like you said, in 1843, where New Mexicans were able to not succumb to the Texans, or at least re-secure the Santa Fe Trail after these threats were placed upon the trail. So
it was re-secured, but the Mexican government did close the trail for the rest of the year, just out of concern of the Texas raids, and also out of frustration because the United States government, as part of the court-martial, did acquit Philip St. George Cook of any crimes, but they paid reparations to the government of Texas for confiscating Texas muskets.
Thus the controversial aspect of it. So We took your guns, but now we're going to pay you for what we took. So.
And people in New Mexico thought that it was all just a plot by the United States government as well.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's a Texas plot.
Right. Very interesting. Well, we're about a minute left in the segment. The museum is open for folks to come and visit you?
Yes, we are open 10 to 1 and 2 to 4, Tuesday through Saturday.
10 to 1, 2 to 4, Tuesday through Saturday. And I know you're working on your Veterans Day display, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that'll open on Veterans Day.
Which is November 11th.
Yep.
So
it's only have a few weeks away from it, actually.
That's right. So
this year's going by pretty quickly. It'll be opening on Thursday.
It really has. So excellent. Well, Michael, thank you so much. Appreciate your time, and look forward to part 3 next week when war came to New Mexico. So looking forward to it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. That's going to wrap up the show for today. We do have some sports on the TV channel tonight. Roswell volleyball at Carlsbad. That'll be on the Roswell channel at 6:30 tonight. And then, of course, lots of high school football tomorrow on Football Friday. This is KSVP Artesia, K229AS Artesia.
Steve Hamilton.
It is time for Clay and Bud.